Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
Welcome to the Twins and Yankees series, brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200 with available all-wheel drive, America's import.
New York, with the world's most breathtaking skyline.
It's a lot of tradition, a lot of history, and a lot of memories. Now, the great thing about memories is you're able to pass it along from generation to generation.
Way back left field, Derek Jeter, goodbye home run! Derek Jeter with one of the most unbelievable plays you will ever see by a shortstop. History with an exclamation point!
Derek Jeter will retire at the end of this season, his 19th in the big leagues, and since his arrival, the Yankees have quite frankly been the best franchise in the game. With Roy Smalley, I'm Anthony LaPanta. The Twins honoring him here because it's his last trip to Target Field. It's hard to define him by individual statistics alone.
Oh, you can't define him by individual statistics alone. Like Lou Gehrig and Joe DiMaggio, for example, before him, he is Major League Baseball, not just to the Yankees, but all across Major League Baseball, the shining example of the way you're supposed to play the game.
A five-time World Series champion, a part of 25 World Series victories with the Yankees, number 8 on the all-time hit list, honored here at Target Field, presented with second base from the final game played at the Metrodome, and the Twins make a donation to his Turn 2 Foundation as well. Twins manager Ron Gardenhire.
Derek, on behalf of everybody here, all of our fans, Twins fans all over Twins territory, and all of our players in uniform and the guys that have been here before, it's been an honor and a pleasure to share this field with you. We wish you nothing but the best. Total respect for you, the way you respect the game. We've learned a lot from you. We've taken a lot of pain from you. And I'm asking Mr. Girardi over there today, since we're honoring you, to take you out of the lineup for 2 more days, and we'll be fine here in Minnesota. Derek, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
All right, my guy. I love you, man. All right, yeah. Yep. All right.
Including the postseason, Derek Jeter 95 and 48 all-time against the Twins.
He is defined by his winning games and postseason games and World Series championships for the Yankees. From the moment he set foot at shortstop for the Yankees, he's been about winning. He has taught his club how to win through all kinds of roster changes. He's been the guy that says this is the way we play, and we expect to be in the postseason, and we expect to win, and he has just flat done that.
Yankees have been to the playoffs 16 of the last 18 years. Yet to be seen if they'll make it in his final year. Up next, Dick Bramer and Bert Blyleven with a closer look at the Minnesota bullpen.
segment is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Chrysler, imported from Detroit.
The Twins are in need of a win against the Yankees this afternoon. They are in need of a good start from Johan Pino. He'll make the start against right-hander David Phelps of the New York Yankees. And good afternoon from Target Field. Dick and Burt with you for Game 3 between the Twins and the New York Yankees. The Twins have not gotten good starting pitching in this series. They have gotten great relief pitching, but it hasn't translated into a win yet.
Well, I'll tell you what, it seems like day after day that bullpen is called on. Of course, the bullpen anchored by Glenn Perkins, one of the best closers in the game. But over the last 12 ball games, they have pitched a lot of innings, but they have done a great job. Everybody out there knows what their role is. In yesterday's ball game, it was Samuel Deduno to go deep into the ball game after Kyle Gibson's short start. He did that. Then Casey Fiend came in. Glenn Perkins got an inning. So all in all, a very, very tough bullpen.
In New York against the Yankees, the Twins got great starting pitching. Won the series. They're looking for a good start today from Johan Pino.
Have lost 9 of their last 11 games since they swept the White Sox here in a 4-game series. And Joe Girardi had his team below the 500 mark coming into this series, now a game above the 500 mark. The Menards batting order for the Yankees has changed. Brian McCann was scratched about an hour ago, his ankle not allowing him to play. And so here it is for Game 3. Derek Jeter moved into the leadoff spot. Brian Roberts, Jacoby Ellsbury, Mark Teixeira, Carlos Beltran, Ichiro Suzuki, Alfonso Soriano, Francisco Cervelli, and Zealous Wheeler.
And the Mall of America's got a report on Johan Pino. Now, Pino's success here today will depend on hitting his spots. He's not an overpowering fast pitcher. He has to trust his fastball. That sets up all his other pitches, where off-speed pitches. Needs to pitch like he did in his major league debut against the White Sox here back on June 19th, when he went 7 very good innings, only gave up a couple runs.
The pregame honoree, Derek Jeter, will lead things off for the Yankees. Got yesterday off. First pitch popped up, a foul ball, chased by Parmelee, and just out of play. Parmelee didn't catch it, but the fan did. Very nice.
Nice grab.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Josh Willingham back in the game in left field. Fold in center. Arcia in right. Around the infield, Plouffe, Escobar, Dozier, and Parmalee with Suzuki, the Iron Man, behind the plate again.
That Twins did a great job of honoring Derek Jeter before the game.
Chopped over the mound. And Escobar fires to first. Jeter retired one away. And Pino will take all those he can get. Quick outs. The Twins hope for an effective and deep start by Pino here this afternoon with Marty Foster behind the plate. It's his job to call balls and strikes. Rob Drake, Alan Porter, Joe West, the rest of the crew.
Yeah, Foster's been doing it for 16 years.
And now Brian Roberts. You know, that's something you and I think, have done a little more of, maybe even not by design, just to talk about the umpires, the experience that they have, and it's a good thing because they are major players in what's happening here today, and they deserve to be respected, especially now with the replay system in place, and there's really very little opportunity now for an umpire to cost a team a game or anything like that. And so, yeah, it's a nice thing to personalize these guys.
They're no different than what we are up here in the booth, or the players or the managers. They want to get the call right, and I think what we've seen, a lot of times they are right.
And when they're not, there's a step that can be taken to correct the error on the field. Now the next thing I think should happen is to allow for the same opportunity for the players. If a guy makes an error at second, you ought to be able, as the manager, to come out and challenge the error and hit the guy another ground ball.
Well, Roberts, who hit 2 doubles and a triple in yesterday's ball game, flies out here in his first at bat.
If you hung a curveball, wouldn't you like to have the opportunity to take a look at, or get another shot at it?
Do you realize how many times I would have to take a look at that?
Yeah, I didn't hit that. I didn't throw that where I wanted to. Let me try it again.
Yeah, like 3 times a game.
2 down. Here's Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury has moved around the lineup for the Yankees, and the lineup with one additional player, 6 different hitters changed spots from the original lineup that Joe Girardi put out there, and that hits the corner.
Girardi, of course, in his first year with the Yankees after spending 7 seasons with the Boston Red Sox.
Foul back, 2 strikes. Pino, when he made his major league debut, had a really good start. Probably should have won the game. The Twins didn't give him much support. And then the next 2 starts, the second one was really bad, and the third one was somewhere in between.
Yeah, the most important thing with the 1 walk, 7 strikeouts in 7 innings is that the Twins ended up winning that ball game at the end, 4-2 over the Sox.
Up high.
The White Sox. I think we've seen Pino now. This is his 4th start, but the first one, boy, he was changing speeds well, but it all came off the fastball, and then his last couple starts he fell behind, got hit around a little bit in Anaheim, and then in his last start here against the Royals.
In the dirt, nearly hit him.
Giving up only 1 home run, that in his last start to Salvador Perez, a solo home run. Twins lost that ball game 6-1.
The Twins haven't exactly knocked the cover off the ball, but they have scored 9 runs in these 2 games with the Yankees. They just haven't pitched well enough to make those runs count. 2-2 to Ellsbury. And a called 3rd strike. Good inning for Pino as he sets the Yankees down 1-2-3 on 11 pitches. doubleheader. Brian Dozier, the leadoff man. Kurt Suzuki and Chris Parmelee. Kendrys Morales. Josh Willingham, Oswaldo Arcia. Trevor Plouffe, Eduardo Escobar, and Sam Fuld.
And David Phelps, a right-handed pitcher, 27 years old, starting this ball game for the Yankees. His 12th start, his 21st appearance. He started the season in the Yankee bullpen and then put into the rotation in early May. Struggled a little bit in about 3-4 straight starts, but over his last 4 starts, 2-0 with a 3.7 ERA. Second career start against the Twins. His other start coming here on July 4th against Kyle Gibson in a Yankee win.
Yankees out on the field. Alfonso Soriano in left. Jacoby Ellsbury in center. Ichiro Suzuki in right. Zealous Wheeler. Derek Jeter left side of the infield. Brian Roberts, Mark Teixeira on the right side. And with Brian McCann going out with a sore foot, like I said ankle earlier, it's a sore foot. Francisco Cervelli, who may have saved the game for the Yankees with all the pitches blocked in the dirt, he'll get the start again here this afternoon.
Plus added 3 hits when he was at the plate.
Here's Jeter, hit a home run in his first at bat in yesterday's game. And he takes strike 1.
Phelps, all 4 pitches, fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup.
Lifted down the right field line. Ichiro sprinting to the line, and it is in the crowd.
Good effort by Ichiro right there, climbing the wall. He keeps himself in great shape at 40 years old. We saw Raul Ibanez with the Royals at 42 years old play right field here at Target Field, right there, leaping the wall, but it's foul.
So 2 strikes to Dozier. He'll be followed by Suzuki and Parmelee. And Phelps aborts his delivery.
Yeah, Phelps working off the third base side of the pitching rubber. 68 strikeouts in 76 innings pitched.
And a foul back. Yankees a game above the 500 mark. They're in a pillow soft American League East this year. And so they're basically a 500 team, but they're only 3 games out of first place.
Yeah, Baltimore right now a half-game lead over the Blue Jays, and then the Yankees in third.
And now 1 and 2. The Yankees don't have the marquee position players that they've had. Don't have the marquee starting pitchers that they've had when the Twins have faced them in the playoffs. 2 and 2. Middle of the pack starting rotation, an ERA just over 4.
Well, a lot of the stars that they went out and got, like Soriano, they just have not panned out as well as I think they expected. But they're all also aging, as we talked about Suzuki. Now Phelps still young, just 27 years old. He's in his 3rd season with the Yankees. Last year up and down, had some elbow problems last year, so that's why they put him in the bullpen. They thought they could control his innings pitched, but because of necessity, he's now in a rotation.
Driven to right field, but Ichiro is there to track down the line drive. Good at bat for Dozier, but it's the first out. And that'll bring up Kurt Suzuki. Tomorrow by this time, the American League All-Star team, at least most of it, will be announced. I beg your pardon, it's tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It's after the games in the afternoon. But there's a pretty good bet, I would think, that Kurt Suzuki will be named.
I hope so. Well deserved. Hitting .305, that's 10th best batting average in the American League. And doing a great job behind the plate. A couple hits in yesterday's ball game for Suzuki. 17 doubles to go with his 2 home runs.
It'll be interesting to see the reception, if it happens. The reception that Suzuki gets from the partisan crowd in the game. 1-1. As well as he's played, 5 months ago he was no closer to being a Twin than he was a Cub or a Giant or anybody else. Twins signed him to a 1-year deal, and it's worked out better than anyone I think could have hoped.
He has been very durable behind the plate.
To center.
Hit down.
Ellsbury plays it on a hop. Another hit for Suzuki.
Not sharply hit, but hit soft enough to land in front of a very good center fielder, and that's Ellsbury. So Twins get the first hit of the ball game off of the bat of Kurt Suzuki. A little two-seamer, not a bad pitch down, but Suzuki hits it softly into center. Got in on him a little bit, and that created the softness of that ball landing on the grass.
Here is Parmelee. Suzuki not much of a threat to steal, but as the Twins hope, here's a drive to center. Hit right at Ellsbury. Now he retreats out number 2 as the Twins hope to get more base runners on. Phelps has got a good pickoff move. He's already picked off 3 runners this year. 2 down. That'll bring up Morales.
Yeah, Suzuki not a base stealing threat.
Morales playing in his 25th game, starting the day with 96 at bats. Twins are hoping that he's starting to snap out of the inevitable slump that he fell into after a good week with the Twins, picking up 9 hits in the first 6 games, then the slump, and now some signs of life. And he takes a look.
Change
1-1.
missing right there. Now, not a lot of at-bats against Phelps. Now, Morales coming from an organization, Seattle and the Angels, he has 6 at-bats, the most at-bats against Phelps. 1 hit, and that was a double.
Cutter inside. And it's 2-1. Played a few games at first base, principally a designated hitter.
Career .280 hitter, so the Twins expect him to hopefully finish the season around there, driving some runs. Morales with 103 Major League home runs. Signed by the Twins back on June 8th.
Two and 2. Up around the hands, and it's 3 and 2 with Willingham on deck.
So many players trying to get over here from Cuba. Morales one of those, and you can know how hard he wanted to get over here because it took him 12 tries to finally get to a place and for his freedom to play Major League Baseball.
This one flared down the left field line and caught by Soriano. That ends the first inning. No score after 1. You're watching the Twins and Yankees series, brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200. Available for single game rental for groups of 16 to 96. Choose from the intimate Premier Suites, the flexible event suites, or the spacious Skyline Suite at Target Field. Food and beverage is included in every purchase. You can find out more at twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 800-33-TWINS and schedule your suite at a Twins game. Mark Teixeira will lead off the second. Twins infield will shift toward the pull side. Pino got through the first inning with just 11 pitches thrown, 8 of them strikes. Another beautiful day here. It's clouding up, but very comfortable, summer-like. Supposed to be warm and muggy tomorrow. Every once in a while before the game, I like to, after the gates are open, just kind of walk around this ballpark. And it's amazing to see all the fans coming in, and I think all 30 major league teams were represented in jerseys, and just to see the faces of the little kids who are, many of them in the ballpark for the first time.
The Twins have drawn very well here the first 2 ball games of this series. Yesterday's crowd, almost 37,000. It was the largest crowd so far this year here at Target Field. The ball hooked foul. Important for Pino again to get strike 1. 2 of the 3 batters he faced get ahead in the count, because a lot of these Yankee hitters, they've not seen Pino, so they're going to take a look at him the first time around, kind of what Kansas City did, and then the second time around they were ready for that first pitch. They noticed that his fastball maybe topped out at 90. They like that last fastball right there. So they sat back a little bit longer, and then the Royals scored some runs off of them the second time around.
2-2 to Teixeira. Beltran, Suzuki to follow. Popped up. Very high pop up. Suzuki coming back for a look, but it's out of play. You know, I was thinking about that after Pino's start against the Royals. As good as he was the first time through the order, he might be the type of pitcher that if he has a good first few innings here, he needs to be even better the second time around.
Exactly. Yeah.
In terms of location.
Yeah, because a lot of these hitters are, Teixeira took what, 3 pitches before he swung at a pitch.
Excuse me, roller, and Escobar flips to Parmalee, 1 away.
Oh, good changeup right there. Teixeira had committed, tried to hold up, but hit the ground ball out.
News and notes from around baseball last night. Clayton Kershaw up to 36 shutout innings now. He's about 3 games away from Oral Hershiser's record. Mike Trout with a walk-off home run against the Astros. Chris Sale might be the American League starter in the All-Star game.
Well, he's been awesome. And Abreu just keeps hitting long balls.
Not noted there the trade that sent Jeff Samardzija and Jason Hamill over to the American League. Down and away, and it's 1-1. Missing down and in, 2-1.
Not missing by much right there.
Beltran with maybe the biggest hit of this game, a 3-run home run that turned the game around here Thursday night. Pop up, playable.
Good change up there.
And somebody near the mound, and it's Parmalee calling everyone off, and they scattered like a bunch of flies. With Samardzija and Hamill part of the rotation. Now you've got Scott Kazmir, maybe their best pitcher, Sonny Gray, Jesse Chavez.
They got a couple other guys too that have been starting for them. That there's like 7.
Jared
Tommy
Parker,
Malone is
Tommy Malone, Dan Straley going over to the Cubs. You know, it's interesting. For a long time and up until very recently, Ichiro taking low, ball 1. When pitchers like Samardzija or players of marquee value were out there and it got to be July, you just kind of assumed that the safest assumption was that they'd end up with New York, that they would pick guys up. But now the Yankees are kind of backing away from that, at least so far. And Oakland, of all people, you know, this is an organization that forever has been trading prospects or you know, young established players for more prospects. And now they're, you know, going the opposite direction.
Well, I think they see that offensively they can compete against anybody, and they already had a good pitching staff, and they just made it that much better.
Going off a 3-game sweep at the hands of the Tigers, a possible playoff opponent, and now beefing up their rotation. 3-1 to Ichiro. Soriano will follow. And now 3-2.
I think Oakland also knows that the Angels are for real. Their offense very, very tough, and of course they play each other 19 times. Seattle improving.
Up the middle, and that'll skip through. Ichiro with the first Yankee hit. And it comes with 2 outs in the second.
Well, right now the Oakland A's have the lead in the American League Western Division, but they're the Angels, only 3.5 back, and like I mentioned, Seattle, they've won 7 out of their last 10 ball games. Trying to stay in that race. Rangers and Astros both been struggling.
And in this case, I think it's fair to say that the Twins' struggles against the West have been a pretty good barometer as to which division is the toughest in the American League.
The Twins are 5-14 against the West.
Over the inside corner, a strike. Haven't done much better against the National League West.
Well, I was going to say, you throw in the interleague play, and they're combined 19-22, or excuse me, 9-22.
Yeah.
I was wishing 19, but you had 9.
More games coming up with the Padres, the Rockies, and the Diamondbacks. Swing and a miss, 2 strikes.
Soriano at 38 years old in his second season back with the Yankees. Originally came up with the Yankees back in 1999. Last year of his contract. Most of it paid by the Cubs. You know, the Cubs, they're adding a lot of young talented kids, but they've been doing that for 4 or 5 years. You know, they keep finding themselves at the bottom of the National League Central Division. You can have a good farm system by name, but these kids need to come up and produce.
You know, the top prospect that the Cubs got is a guy by the name of Addison Russell, who's supposed to be a great shortstop down the road. And that makes you wonder about the Cubs and Starling Castro, whether they may trade him. I can think of one team. You're looking at them right now. They're going to need a shortstop next year. Meaning the Yankees, of course. 2 strikes to Soriano.
I think over the years I've watched Soriano. He is a very good low ball hitter. So you want to kind of go up the ladder with him a little bit. Swings a very heavy bat, and when he can drop the barrel of the bat, he can golf some balls out.
He spins this one over the net.
Soriano with 410 career home runs. 16th season wearing a major league uniform. 7-time All-Star.
And another throw to first.
Suzuki, 5 stolen bases in 7 attempts. Yankees overall 60 stolen bases as a ball club. They've been caught 16 times.
2 strikes. Soriano again. There goes Ichiro. The pitch hit high, short center field. And it's Escobar, the shortstop, making the catch to end the inning. Another good inning for Pino. A couple of shutout innings on 33 pitches. summer afternoon here at Target Field. And time now for you to tweet your photo using #NorthFanPhoto. A chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by AT&T. To send up Josh Willingham, Oswaldo Arcia, and Trevor Plouffe.
David Phelps in the first inning did give up one hit to Kurt Suzuki, but threw 18 pitches, 11 strikes. 3 of 4 first pitch strikes for Phelps.
Willingham in and out of the lineup a lot for the Twins. Having a tough time getting on track here as we roll now into July. A couple of times Ron Gardenhire said he needed a mental day. I think the best type of mental day for him at this point would be
a 4-for-4 day.
Well, I was just going to say a couple of hits, a double and a home run. I think that would go a long way toward restoring his mental health. Fouled back.
Well, Willingham activated back in late May. He has hit 7 home runs since that, 5 of them in the month of June. His last one coming in Anaheim when he hit that whole solo home run off of C.J. Wilson, and then Morales followed with a home run.
Check swing and a strike. Trying to get a board here to start the second inning. 2-2. .35 home runs 2 years ago. Infield shifted into pull mode. And now called third strike.
Oh, Willingham does not like that. Marty Foster saying it caught the corner. Looked like a slider, a little cutter inside.
Oh my!
It's way inside. My goodness! Wow.
That was in the right-handed batter's box.
He's swinging the bat, boys.
You know, we showed last night Joe West having a vague idea of where the outside corner was. A lot of umpires have that. You don't see an umpire miss one that badly over the inside corner.
No, because they're sitting right there. As you watch Foster right here set up behind Cervelli. He's sitting right over his right shoulder with Arcia up.
Arcia lifts it down the left field line. Soriano chasing it, and it's a foul ball, no play. Look at it, went right down the stripe of the batter's box.
I was going to say they might have an early flight, but they got one more game tomorrow. That's important as a starting pitcher. If you're pitching the last game of the series, you find out what time's the umpire's flights.
Right.
Then you'll find out who's behind the plate, and you say, oh boy. Yeah, 4 o'clock flight. Let's see, it's a 1 o'clock game. They have to get out of here quick.
Arcia's been peppered a lot, and he gets hit by a pitch here with 1 out in the second inning.
They got hit in the thigh yesterday. And Phelps hitting his 6th batter of the season.
5th time that Arcia has been hit. Dozier and Willingham each have been plunked 5 times.
You see the fastball.
That's exactly where he got hit yesterday.
On the front side. This time he got on the back. He'll slow down his running game. That's right. He doesn't have one, does he?
Here's Plouffe. And the Twins are hoping that Plouffe can start driving the ball more consistently.
Yeah, a lot of doubles, but they'd like to see some long balls from Trevor Plouffe. 5 home runs on the year.
One line to center, but Ellsbury's there. The Twins have had a couple of lineouts to the outfield. Dozier hit a line out to Ichiro. 2 down.
Let's take a look at yesterday with Arcia getting hit. Kind of right on the square side. This time a little bit in the back.
Here's Escobar. Escobar getting a chance to play at short again. Danny Santana feeling better every day, he says, and there's a possibility that Santana might be activated on the road trip just prior to the All-Star break. There is also a possibility that the Twins will send him on a rehab assignment, let him play a few games in and around the All-Star break, and then bring him back at the end of the All-Star break. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, even though it's a Major League All-Star break, I believe minor league clubs are still playing, so he would get more at-bats if he were to be optioned back. And the All-Star 4-day off for the Major League players, he could get some more at-bats in the minor leagues. Escobar almost got the tying base hit yesterday in the 8th inning, but it took a great play by Teixeira to ruin that.
Jeter to the bag. That ends the 2nd inning. You're watching the Twins and Yankees series, brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200.
Link, your link to what's next. By Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealers today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here.
No score heading to the 3rd. Francisco Cervelli will lead things off for New York against Johan Pino. And a breaking ball clipping the outside corner.
I mentioned earlier Cervelli 3 hits in yesterday's ball game. A couple doubles and a base hit. Scored a run. Ryan McCann originally in the lineup. Scratched before the ball game, so Cervelli behind the plate.
1-1. Cervelli, Wheeler, Jeter in the Yankee 3rd.
Yeah, Cervelli in his 7th season with the Yankees. A lot of that up and down between AAA and the big leagues.
And now 2-1.
He missed 55 games this year due to a hamstring injury that he spent over 2 months on the DL. This is just his 12th game of the year.
Played a good one yesterday.
Yes, he did.
The Yankees stymied the Twins' comeback effort with some great defense. And it started behind the plate, 3-1.
Number 8 and number 9 hitters in a lineup. These are the guys you want to swing the bat. No free passes. 3 walks for Pino in his first 3 starts, covering 15 2/3 innings.
Inside corner, 3-2.
Pino, 30 years old, almost 1,100 minor league innings, 83 minor league wins. making his 4th major league start.
Fly ball center field. Full back
very nice
over.
comeback.
Thanks to catch. Cervelli retired, 1 down. Big plays by the Yankees in the 8th inning.
I'll tell you what, this ball that Chris Colabello hit right here. Roberts, I thought that's a tough play right there. He got the short hop, got the out. And then the next hitter, Escobar. That's what I was talking about. 5-time Gold Glove winner, Mark Teixeira, probably saved the game right there. That would have tied the game at 6 apiece.
This an interesting matchup and a lesson in perseverance. You've got Johan Pino on the mound, who made his major league debut at the age of 30. And zealous Wheeler can relate to everything that Pino has gone through as a position player inside.
8 minor league seasons with the Brewers, the Orioles, now the Yankees. Was hitting well down in AAA. Hitting .299, and then the other day, in his 2nd major league at bat, hit a home run into the bullpen for the Yankees. What a way to start your career. And then he picked up another base hit later in the game.
1-2. Wrapped to short. Easy play for Escobar. 2 down. They'll bring up Jeter. Tuesday, July 15th, baseball's best gather in Minnesota as the captain, Derek Jeter, takes the field in his last All-Star game ever, in what promises to be an emotional and unforgettable night. Special coverage beginning at 3:30 on Fox Sports 1, followed by the 2014 All-Star game at 6:30 on Fox. Now, it's interesting. Tomorrow, Cal Ripken's going to come to town as part of the national broadcast of tomorrow's game. And they were hyping the All-Star game in Seattle back in 2001 as Ripken's last. And Ripken hit a home run in his last All-Star game. And so we'll have to wait and see whether there are any such heroics for Jeter in his final All-Star game here at Target Field. 1 strike. And now a ball.
8th on the all-time hit list, Derek Jeter. Just turned 40 a couple weeks ago.
2-1.
Games played as a Yankee. 200, almost 300 more than Mickey Mantle.
Another ground ball to short. Another easy play for Escobar. A 1-2-3 inning for Pino.
Wild forward Thomas Vanek throwing out the first pitch. Might have been just a bit high, but there on the fly. We're joined live by Thomas. Thomas, how would you rate your first pitch?
It's like I said, a little bit high, but I was a little nervous, so just making sure I'll get it there.
The last couple of weeks has to have been a very exciting and probably now relieving time for you to be back here in Minnesota. What was your family's reaction when the deal was finally done to come and be a part of the Minnesota Wild?
I mean, we were thrilled, but it took us a good day to realize that we don't have to leave end of August again and move. So, again, in the back of my mind, this is where I wanted to be for a while, and we made it happen, and we're just extremely excited about that.
There were a lot of talk about other offers that were longer in term, more money. What was it that drew you to the Minnesota Wild?
Well, again, it's like I said, I got a better offers out there, but it's not always about that. It's about being happy, and then this is a place that I feel comfortable with, and I feel like I'm a good fit, which is, to me, that's important as well. And at the end of the day, again, I'm happy we made it work out.
How well do you know personally some of your new teammates with the Wild?
Some of them I know pretty well, and the rest I'm sure I'll get to know them here in a few months. But again, I'm excited about that group. I think they have good young guys, great older guys that can still play, and then good leadership.
Thomas, thanks very much. Enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Thomas Vanek, newest member of the Minnesota Wild, guys.
Thank you very much, Anthony. 2 strikes to Sam Fuld, and a ball hit into right field, a base hit. And Fuld takes a big turn. He will not challenge the still able arm of Ichiro Suzuki.
Oh, it's nice to see Sam Fuld getting some good at-bats. That's his 5th hit so far in this series in 8 at-bats. Little breaking ball, a kind of a spinner that went right over the plate, and Sam Fuld hit it sharply over the head of Teixeira. And the speedster Fuld at first base. He stole a base here already in this series. 8 for 8 in that department.
Fuld aboard. Dozier, the batter, hit a liner to Ichiro, sent him out near the warning track in right center his first time up.
Yeah, you got to watch Phelps, as you mentioned. 3 pickoffs already this year. 9 in his career.
Sam Fuld, and I think Scotty Alger too, saying, hey, that was a balk. And I think our dugout microphone can pick up the sentiment from the dugout as well.
One balk has been called on Phelps. Fold's getting back so easier there.
And Ron Gardenhire still giving it to Marty Foster. Both moves. And Ron Gardenhire almost taunting Marty Foster to throw him out, and he's gone. All I heard was go ahead. And Marty Foster said, all right then.
You know, sometimes umpires can't take any criticism. And this is a game sometimes of criticism.
Well, I wonder if any of this, though, with the pointing at home plate, has to deal with the call out of Willingham in the 2nd inning.
McGarty kind of saying, you know, he moved his left foot before he threw to first base, and that's a balk. Let's take a look. A couple throws ago to first base. You saw the left foot kind of move, and you can't, you know, you have to pick up that foot to throw to first. And Joe West, the crew chief, comes over and walks Gardy back to the bench.
3rd ejection of the year for Ron Gardenhire,
which is way below his pace. There's
right there.
Right there, the bend of the knee and the foot. That definitely is a balk.
Dozier with Fuld still at first. Terry Steinbach given the reins now. Now Fuld gets back. Terry 4-0 as the acting manager. Ron Gardenhire missed a couple of games to attend a funeral of John Hirschbach's son, and then has been tossed a couple of times, and the Twins have a perfect record.
If anything, it'll concentrate these umpires more at looking at Phelps to see if he does that, because, as you mentioned, very good move, but is it an illegal move?
It looked like that left knee buckled again.
Well, Joe West has been umpiring for 37 years, and believe me, if he doesn't think that this is a balk, yeah, he's kind of putting the weight on the left foot where we're supposed to just spin.
Low throw, and that ball gets away from Teixeira. Safe. The ball hit Rob Drake. And Fultz saw the ball get by Teixeira. He didn't see the goalie save by Rob Drake.
Well, a quicker throw over here by Phelps, and the ball getting away. And Drake right there hit off his body, and then luckily Fultz able to dive back. Yeah, hit off his right shoulder area.
He's out. Be interested if the Yankees challenge this. It looked to me like the tag was put on his hip.
Well, hurry up and make a pitch.
Well, Phelps is on the rubber. It's too late to challenge it now. It's not the next pitch. It's when the pitcher engages the rubber. Here's a ball whistled foul. 2 strikes. All right, watch the hand and watch the ball. Watch Teixeira's glove. Oh, boy. He's safe right there, and Teixeira hasn't touched him. Yep. Wow. 2 strikes to Dozier. And a foul. Dozier had a good at bat against Phelps and ended up driving one to the gap in right center in the first inning. Trying to hit out of an 0-2 hole here in the third. Ooh. Where was that?
That was over the plate. It has to be inside about 4 or 5 inches.
That looked like that cut the plate in half.
Again, Cervelli sitting inside, and that's more of a strike than the one to Willingham.
1-2 to Dozier.
You wonder why Gardy got thrown out.
And since Fultz reached first base, Phelps has thrown more to first than he has to home plate.
I got to count 5 and 3 to first base.
Dozier rolls it down the line, backhanded by Wheeler.
Wow.
What a play by Zealous Wheeler. Picked it up right over the third base bag, and his off-balance throw right on target.
Unbelievable play right there by the rookie. Just getting called up. His second game defensively as a starter. And leaped up right there. A perfect throw over to Teixeira to get the speedy Dozier. Wow. And on the play, Fultz gets into scoring position.
And now Suzuki singled his first time up. Suzuki with less than a strikeout every 10 at bats. That used to kind of be the norm not that long ago, where a lot of hitters would have that strikeout ratio. Nowadays it's a rarity, and we wonder why Suzuki's hitting over 300. And I think one of the reasons, A, he's a contact hitter, but then B, he just doesn't try to do too much at the plate. He's not a home run hitter, although he's got a couple of them. He tries to put the ball in play seemingly between the shortstop and second baseman all the time.
Kind of an old school type hitter, you know. I mean, I remember facing guys when you get 2 strikes on them, you could actually see them shorten up a little bit.
Choke up on the
Choke
bat.
up, yeah, just to try to make contact.
3-0 now with Parmelee on deck.
Not the power hitters, you know, 3, 4, 5 hitters, but the guys, you know, that were kind of not power type hitters, but guys that wanted to put the ball in play. You have a better chance of getting on if you can just put that ball in play somewhere rather than striking out. If you strike out, you can't get on at all.
And a 4-pitch walk puts Suzuki on base.
First walk for Phelps.
Soup.com trivia question on this beautiful summer afternoon. Who are the 4 players with 3,000 career hits whose primary position was shortstop? Derek Jeter.
That's all we needed was one.
Well, we'll give you the other ones later on. Well, and it's a reflection of how the era has changed. One of the best statistical years, maybe the best ever for a Twins player, was Harmon Killebrew's MVP season of 1969. Here's Parmalee. Up and away, ball 1. That year, Harmon hit .276. He hit 49 home runs, drove in a league-high 140 runs, and he struck out 84 times.
But I think, baseball went through the steroid era. And that's when every were beefed. Balls were flying all over the place.
1 and 1.
You had the number 6, 7, 8 guys hitting home runs. A guy hitting 9th would be hitting home runs. Well, it's starting to come back around, I think. Not as many home runs.
Well, just then looking at the team, 1969, that at least up until 87 and 91, most people thought the 69 Twins were the best team, even better than the 65 Twins. I know Harmon felt that way. There's a ball slapped foul. There wasn't one member of that team that struck out 100 times. Not one. And now this year the Twins are going to have 7 or 8 guys they're going to strike out 100 times.
Well, hopefully Parmalee does not do that here.
1 and 2. Twins looking for the first run of the game.
He took an 0 for yesterday. Stopped a 13 career game hitting streak for Parmalee. Hopefully he can start one right here. Start a new one.
Little roller up the line. Parmalee is tagged out. Both runners move up, and that'll bring up Morales. Full to third. Suzuki to second. A hit to the outfield might give the Twins a pair of runs. Morales hit a fly ball to left his first time up. No way of knowing what's going to happen here, obviously, but the Twins signed Morales for situations like this. A veteran hitter trying to provide a big 2-out hit to drive in some runs.
Morales not happy with that first pitch strike call.
One strike for the Twins DH. Inside 1-1. Cervelli held that one for a while. High fly to right center. Suzuki back to the gap, now giving away to the center fielder Ellsbury. He snatches it. The Twins leave 2 aboard in the 3rd. hosted the All-Star game is the Futures game, and it is my distinct pleasure to have the two opposing managers up here in the booth. Mr. Blyleven will manage the international team.
The world team, yep.
Mr. Tom Kelly will manage the U.S. team.
Correct.
I don't need to sit between you guys now.
No,
okay, all right.
Never.
Well, Tom, let's get your perspective on it, because we've gotten Bert's, but how much are you looking forward to this experience?
Well, I really think it's an honor, first of all, to be part of any All-Star game. And Bert's pointed this out numerous times here the last few weeks about being a player. I was honored to be a coach and a manager 3-4 times, whatever it's been, and now to get to participate after I've been retired for almost 15 years to be part of the Futures game. And Major League Baseball thought enough of me to obviously living in the Twin Cities certainly helped, but be part of the festivities. It's really an honor, without a question. There's no way around it. It's just special.
Yeah, it is special, and I already said to everybody that I will definitely be outmanaged.
I don't know about that.
But I like what you said when I did ask you about it.
Yeah.
You know, just said, you know, let's just stay in the background, let the kids play,
sure.
and hopefully nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, that's the big thing,
yeah.
Bert. I don't want to send anybody back to their team or manager and say that there's, well, it looks like you better keep an eye on him or something like that. Or, you know, you don't want that to happen.
I got to ask you, because you know, with all these shifts going on,
yeah,
will there be any shifts going on?
We're just talking about
game?
that. We were just up there, Roy and Vanessa. We just mentioned of shifting, and I'm one for the pitcher throwing the ball over the plate and the hitter getting a chance to swing and the players getting a chance to field. So unless somebody that we really know, and I don't think we know the players that well, so we're at a disadvantage that way. But we're just going to let them play.
I do a lot of homework, TK, and I've been scouting your team, and I'm seeing who the pull hitters are and who the punch and Judys will be. But I don't see any punch and Judys in your lineup.
Well, I glanced at the roster today, the first time I had my hands on it, actually, and I was picking Terry Ryan's brain about some of the players, and he said, "Oh, this guy he can pitch, and this guy throws 100, and blah blah blah." I said, "Well, which one of them guys is the closer if we get a chance?"
It'll be a Sunday event here at Target Field, and it'll be followed by the celebrity softball game. And it should be a wonderful time. I just wonder, though, I mean, obviously neither one of you want anybody to get hurt, but what parameters will you use in terms of a pitcher, how many innings and things like that?
Well, I think a lot of this is going to be defined by Major League Baseball. I think Frank Robinson, I'm sure Bert has to go to a meeting. I have to go to a meeting.
On Saturday night.
Correct. And they're going to probably lay some guidelines down or suggestions on how to use people and things of that nature.
Yeah, I know. So, I just hope that, you know, a lot of these kids are coming a long way for this game. I want to try to get everybody in.
Do I understand, Bert? It's 9 innings. That's it. Just if it's tied, that's.
I believe so. Yes.
I just think that's one of the. Look at this.
Dozier into a slide. Pino may have gotten a piece of it. A nice play to take care of Ellsbury.
I think Pino did deflect it just a touch, Dick, or to hit the mound.
Remember in yesterday's ball game, hit up the middle, and Duno got a piece, and there just kind of reached out your glove, did slow it down a bit, but another great defensive play by Brian Dozier, the old slide and pop up.
He's the master of that one now, that's for sure. He makes that play look routine almost. Just a fabulous play.
And he gets his uniform dirty, which he likes.
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is there's no truth to the rumor that the home field advantage for the AAA playoffs will be determined on the outcome of your game, right? It is an exhibition, right?
We hope so. And that's what it's supposed to be. And of course, when you put the uniform on, you always want to win.
Pino to the bag. Parmalee finds him.
I hope you don't get upset when I beat you.
No, I won't be upset. I'm sure we'll sleep at night.
We'll have Tom Kelly more from him in the bottom of the inning. Stay tuned for this important message from Mesh Becher and Spence. from tomorrow. It'll be the Futures game. Tom Kelly will manage Trevor May, and Bert Blyleven will manage Jose Barrios and Kenneth Vargas. What do we know about these guys?
Barrios pitched last night and did really well. Pitched, I believe, 7 innings, and I think 7 innings.
I saw him pitch during my vacation time down in Fort Myers.
Yeah.
He's got really good stuff.
Yeah, he does.
And Vargas, of course, very good.
Big Kenny, switch hitter, and can hit the ball very hard. Hits it like an adult for being a young kid. I always call it when the bat hits the ball. He hits the bat, for him, hits the ball. The ball doesn't hit the bat. He hits it. It's the way it's supposed to be. And he hits it like an adult, and he can sting the ball and can hit it a long way, and he does very well at first. And
both my players from Puerto Rico, too, and it's nice to see Puerto Rico. There's I think I have 4 or 5 players from Puerto Rico, and that's good. That's, I think, the most from Puerto Rico. It's good to see Puerto Rico starting to bring some more players up to the big leagues, hopefully eventually.
Any Dutch players?
No.
But
really?
Vargas is a very personable young man, too, Bert. You'll enjoy his company, and he's a talented guy, and he's a little heavy, and he's up near 250, I think, in his weight. I just hope he doesn't get any bigger than he is.
See what happened?
Oh, wow. That was right in the mask.
Yep.
I think it hit the glove first, but I don't know if that slowed it down. But
with Brian McCann already, not in the lineup. Cervelli, the backup catcher.
Oh, my. I don't know how they do it.
1 strike to Willingham. And he takes a ball, 1-1.
How about that pitch Willingham got called out in the first, second inning? Oh, my, first inning? And my goodness gracious. That wasn't even in the area code to even attempt to swing it.
Before or as Ron Gardenhire was being ejected, he was pointing beyond the catcher toward home plate, and I wonder whether Gardy might not have, since he was going to get tossed out anyway, express him.
Yeah, he probably did, and some of it had to do with that last strike of the game yesterday, where the pitch to Parmalee was a touch outside, and as a hitter, you can't program. You have to guard the plate and protect the plate, 2 strikes and try to foul pitches off, but you can't program that pitch in there. You can't do it. So, and Parmalee's having probably the best at bats of anybody on a ball club this last couple of weeks, and
the guy you'd want up there at the end of the game.
For sure. And you just can't convince your mind to swing at that pitch, even though you have to guard the plate and protect, but
he's also arguing about the possible balk of Phelps.
Oh, that was that was that knee buckle move, Bert, that you know about.
Right.
That pitcher, some pitchers can do it very quickly and get away with it, and that wasn't what you. And of course, we got to slow it down on the TV here, and you could see it very clearly. So all the fans out there watching can certainly see what you're talking about when you bring up this situation or play. I know teams practice this with some pitchers to try to steal an out. You get away with it once, and the umpire will go, well, oh my, I better keep an eye on that. But so you better make it count when you do it. But again, it wasn't all that quick when he did it, so it was very obvious to everybody, and except the umpire. But again, that was a balk move, and Gardy didn't like it, and Dick, you're correct about some of them pitches. I think he was getting his 2 cents in about that as well. So,
Fox Tracks presented by Chrysler, and Arcia takes a called second strike.
Let me ask you, TK.
Yes,
you didn't get thrown out a lot as a manager, but Gardy has. Okay,
yes,
is it sometimes Gardy getting thrown out or a manager getting thrown out just to kind of get his players? Let's go, guys.
Well, I think if you pitch good, that will work.
Right.
Again, sometimes. If you have a young bunch of players, Bert, and really young guys, you have to be a little cautious at times, because you don't want chaos to develop in the dugouts, And I used to, when I did get thrown out, I remember saying numerous times, I think 7.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I said, anybody else gets thrown out, it's going to be trouble. Don't. I can't say it on the TV, but
don't follow what I just did.
Right? Yeah, I don't want to. Nobody, and that's what you're afraid of, that chaos would happen, And now
sometimes
becomes embarrassing.
Sometimes, I mean, Gardy could get thrown out, but he's also protecting maybe somebody else that's been yelling even more than him.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that's what happened.
Right.
And exactly what happened. And so you have to protect your players at all times, that's for sure. And Gardy does a great job. His job is
Hey, good luck, though. Week from tomorrow in the Futures game.
Thank you.
We'll do Kelly against Bert Blyleven. Good luck. And tickets available for the Futures game here a week from tomorrow. Wash it down with a cold Pepsi.
The young man's enjoying it.
Pepsi fans of the game. Now top of the fifth, no score. And an off-speed pitch over for a strike. Hard to quarrel with what Johan Pino's given the Twins here today. He's given up just one ground ball single. And that came with 2 outs in the second.
And went right up the middle off the bat of Kurt Suzuki.
Inside 1-1.
Excuse me, Ichiro Suzuki.
Beltran, Suzuki, and Soriano in the Yankee fifth. Missing down and away, 2-1. Pitch count's good. As you see, 62 pitches.
Well, he's getting a lot of first pitch strikes too, so he's working ahead in the count to mix in his other pitches.
And missing inside now, 3-1, and averaging about 14 pitches per inning.
Try to change up right there, missed. First pitch strikes, 11 of 14.
Missed inside. First walk issued by Pino. The leadoff man is on for Ichiro Suzuki. On this Independence Day weekend, Fox Sports Supports is especially proud to recognize the Army's Gold Star Pin campaign, which honors the families of fallen service members. To learn more, visit goldstarpins.org. Suzuki bounced a single up the middle. Was left at first base.
Fourth start for Pino. The one double play turn behind him. Tough guy to double up right here, and Suzuki, still at 40 years old, gets down that line very quickly. He's hit into only 2 double plays.
And he lifts it foul over the Yankee dugout. Kind of checking our memory banks over the last few years, and I think it's safe to say that Tapper right side. Nice pickup by Parmalee. Got the lead runner, and there'll be no reload. Good play by Parmalee, who had to take that second hop out of the grass and get the lead runner.
Well, what helped make that play is he charged the ball. He didn't let the ball play him, so he got it on that short hop. No, he's holding on Beltre at first base. You can see him hop out and then get that little short hop. Has the force out at second base as Escobar, the shortstop, right there for the force out.
And now Soriano, a more likely double play candidate. But we were going through our mental capacity, such as it is. And there's no question, by any definition, Ichiro Suzuki, a pioneer and a very probable Hall of Famer because of what he has done in being the first position player ever to come over here. But after him, there haven't been any players that have had a shadow of the impact he's had. Now, pitchers, yes. The Twins faced Yu Darvish last weekend. They faced Tanaka here the other night. They'll face Iwakuma in Seattle. And it just seems like the trend now, the impact players coming over from Japan are pitchers and not position players. There have been, Kenji Jojima, Kosuke Fukudome. Twins fans don't want to be reminded of Tsuyoshi Nishioka, but they've all come over here and some have had some success, but not for an extended period of time. Hideki Matsui, for what, 10-12 years, had a good career, very good career with the Yankees. So
Kuroda pitching tomorrow for the Yankees.
1-0 to Soriano. There's a ball hit down the line, foul. Soriano with a pop-up to Escobar, his first time up. And now lifted foul the other way.
See if they try to go up and in on Soriano. He's a guy that kind of leans out over the plate. I'm talking for a strike. I'm not talking about making him stand up. Just a high fastball, again, that heavy bat.
One and two.
Suzuki sitting away.
And a swinging strike three.
And strikeout number 2 for Pino.
Bring up Cervelli. Twin season ticket holders enjoy 10% off concessions and merchandise at Target Field all season long. 2014 season tickets remain available for a fun summer of baseball here at Target Field. You can call 833-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. Find out how you can join the Twin season ticket family. Here's Cervelli, hit a fly ball to center, took a foul tip off the grill a few moments ago, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. Foul back left, a pitch right over the heart of the plate. Cervelli missed it. Pino's been outstanding. 1 hit, 1 walk. The walk coming to start the 5th inning here. Runner goes outside. Kurt Suzuki's throw. Not in time to get Ichiro Suzuki.
Now Suzuki had a pretty good jump right there off of Pino. And the ball away. Suzuki's throw one-hops Dozier, covering the bag. But look at the jump right there by the 40-year-old. Dozier had to leave the bag to get that.
A nice little save by Dozier, or that ball would have hit Ichiro in the chest.
Stolen base number 6 for Ichiro in 8 attempts.
That kicks away from Kurt Suzuki, and Ichiro will move up another base. Wild pitch, and now suddenly there's a runner at third base.
We'll take a look at this right here. Is he out? The ball going right into Suzuki, and
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Wild pitch will be charged to Pino to allow Suzuki to get to third after a stolen base.
2-2 to Cervelli. Ball base hit to left. The stolen base, the wild pitch. Cervelli with a knock, and it's 1-0 Yankees. This is second Yankee hit.
And Cervelli picking just up his third RBI of the year. Fought off a fastball and hit it into left field. Suzuki scoring the first run of the ball game for either side. Opened up quickly and lined it over Trevor Plouffe.
Now Zealous Wheeler. Over for a strike. He sent out Yangervis Solarte and brought Wheeler up in advance of this series. 1-1. Solarte was the option the Yankees chose rather than Eduardo Nunez, whom they traded to the Twins. Now Solarte no longer here. Wheeler had a pretty good series in his first big league action. Over the inside corner, 1-2.
Well, they have him listed about 5'10", about 220, so stockly built. Wheeler. 75 minor league home runs in 8 seasons.
Jam shot and a dribbler up the line, 5. One and 2. And now 2-2. 80 pitches now for Pino. Seems like he's thrown about half of them this inning.
21 so far this inning.
Out in front of the changeup. A run for the Yankees. Eventually, the leadoff walk came around to score. You're watching the Twins and Yankees series brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200.
I'm Jamie Hirsch inside the Minnesota Lottery Winners Circle with Cara, who is celebrating her bachelorette party this weekend, just about a month before you get married. And you're getting rid of any pre-wedding jitters by taking it in a baseball game, right?
Exactly.
Well, you guys have quite the festivities going on. Can you tell me about these shirts and the signs? My goodness.
Well, we just decided to go with Circle Me Bert so that we can get Bert Blyleven to come over here and circle us, you know?
Bert, she's not taken yet. Oh, boy. All right. Well, you have fun. We're going to give you $100 worth of scratch-offs, courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery.
It'll help pay for the wedding, right?
Sounds good, guys.
Yeah, good luck. Big Twin fans, and you were all here by Circle.
Eduardo Escobar takes outside a ball from David Phelps, now pitching with a 1-0 lead. It'll be Escobar, Fold, and Dozier. That's hit well to right field. Ishiro's there. He's got 3 line drives in the ball game. 1 down. That'll bring up Sam Fold.
You know, here a couple of nights ago, we had Hughes, who'd been throwing the ball well. Of course, Tanaka for the Yankees. He's always been tough, but you think that's going to be a low-run scoring ball game, and it really wasn't. The Yankees won that game 7-4, but here this afternoon, it's Pino against Phelps, and both of them pitching well.
Here's Fold, a single, got as far as third base. Twins had a good scoring opportunity in the third. Fold single with 1 out. Suzuki walk. Harmony advanced both runners into scoring position, but then Morales hit a fly ball to center. Missing the inside corner, and it's 1-1. Each team with 2 hits. All 4 hits singles. And Fold takes a strike on the outside corner and reacts to Marty Foster's call. Bounced foul. The Twins went to New York, took 2 out of 3. Winning 6-1, losing 3-1, and winning 7-2. They gave up 6 runs to the Yankees over 3 games. Pitching hasn't been as sharp here, with the Yankees getting 7 runs here Thursday night and 6 yesterday. Two and 2. Full count.
Yeah, Phelps had a stretch of about 3 or 4 starts where he had not pitched very well, but again, coming over his last 4 starts, 2-0, ERA 3.7, making just his 35th Major League start. Has 13 wins, 13 losses in his career with the Yankees, 76th appearance overall.
Hopped up behind second. Ellsbury with sunglasses down. Makes the catch out, number 2. Will bring up Dozier. I think, you know, it's frustrating to lose to the Yankees at home, lose to anybody at home. You know, the frustrating games, I think, from the fan standpoint, the most frustrating games are the ones where the Twins do pitch well and still lose. And that falls on the lineup in terms of run production. You know, just recently the Twins lost 4-0 to Kansas City. That Boston series where the Twins lost all 3 games, all 3 low-scoring games, with 3 one-run losses, 1-0, 2-1, 2-1. Those, I think, from the fan standpoint, are the toughest because I've been waiting for the Twins to pitch better than they have over the last 3 years, and somehow, even when we've had a good spurt of pitching, there haven't been as many wins as fans would like. 1-1. And 2-1. Bounce to short. Easy play for Jeter. And a 1-2-3 pitch for Phelps. Available all-wheel drive, America's import. Unlike the Chrysler Cordoba that I owned that actually had rear-wheel drive. I had the rich Corinthian leather. I had everything on that baby.
Probably wish you still had it.
I do, actually. That was a good car.
Wish I still had my 56 Merc.
Yeah.
Way back when. That baby was a tank.
That was your first car?
That was my first car.
Mine was a 1962 Chevy Bel Air. Here is Derek Jeter.
Well, Pino starting his 6th inning. 8 ground ball outs, 4 fly ball outs to go with his 3 strikeouts. Pitch number 82 coming. 14 of 19 now. First pitch strikes for Pino.
Jeter hitless in the series. Grounding out twice to Escobar. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
It's got to be tough for Jeter knowing that this is it. I mean, as many years as he wore that uniform right there.
I'll be curious what he decides to do in his next career. There's a dribbler. Suzuki sets and fires. Good play by the Twins catcher.
Boy, you love to see those catchers that bounce out behind home plate. Pino had no chance to get that ball. It was only Suzuki by himself, and he made the play. So far, Pino has been very good. 3 strikeouts in the ball game. Giving up only 2 hits. The damage off the bat of Cervelli last inning, the RBI single, after Suzuki stole second and was wild pitched to third.
One down, and now Brian Roberts. Oh, what a snag by Parmalee. The left-handed first baseman had to make a backhanded catch of the line drive down the right field line.
Yeah, definitely. You know, again, Roberts yesterday, 3 doubles, a triple. He was looking for an extra base hit here, but Parmalee going to his left, making a nice catch. So 2 quick outs here for Pino in the 6th inning on only 4 pitches.
And Jacoby Ellsbury 0 for 2. Bluth playing back at third. Ellsbury showed bunt, took ball 1. Swing and a miss. Approaching 90 pitches. Has been pitching very well here today. Slice foul. And I think you said in the pregame show an important start for Pino for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is a guy we showed earlier, didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about him, Trevor May, who's done very well at AAA this year for the Twins. He'll be pitching in the Futures game provided he comes back from his calf injury. He's on the 7-day disabled list right now for Rochester, 1-2. But if the Twins don't get this season turned around and don't threaten to get back to 500, you can imagine in the second half the Twins might be more interested in running Trevor May, Alex Meyer, some other pitchers and position players out there in the second half rather than a veteran minor leaguer like Pino.
Kind of the same situation that Liam Hendricks found himself in, and also Cole DeVries, you know, getting the opportunity to come up here and pitch.
You mean Pino?
Pino,
right?
I mean,
yeah.
For Pino, yes.
Right.
You know, all you want is a chance, and Pino waited a long time for this.
Base hit to right with 2 outs in the 6th.
You know, his first outing was outstanding. Didn't get the win, but outstanding. His last couple have been struggles a little bit, but you know, something here today. He's doing a good job getting ahead, changing speeds. That's the type of pitcher he is. So far, so good. Only the 3rd hit, all singles off of Pino.
Teixeira with a couple of ground ball outs.
Keep an eye on Ellsbury now. 23 stolen bases. He's led the American League in stolen bases 3 times in his career. Last year stole 52 bases. Led the American League.
And missing ball 1.
2009 he stole 70 for the Boston Red Sox, and in 2008 50. Altuve right now leading in stolen bases. He's having a great year for the Astros. Leading the American League in hitting, Altuve at 342.
And it's climbing. His average is going up, it seems like, instead of down. 1-0 to Teixeira.
And the Twins thinking the same thing, that this is definitely a running situation right here for Joe Girardi and the Yankees for Ellsbury.
Missing low 2-0. Have some activity in the bullpen now.
Maybe a hit and run situation here.
3-0. Got 17 outs now, a 2-out single, and he's in danger of putting a second man on with Beltran coming up next. Matt Carrere, Brian Dunsing. Missed the inside corner. A 4-pitch walk. Now 1st and 2nd, 2 away.
Second walk for Pino.
Now on FoxSportsNorth.com, view a photo gallery from the series against the Yankees and later read post-game reaction from the locker room and Tyler Mason's game analysis. Rick Anderson coming to the mound with runners at 1st and 2nd and 2 down. You know, we got a shot a moment ago of the 2 relievers warming up. Brian Dunsing and Matt Guerrero, with Rick Anderson making a quick trip to the mound. I think Twins fans are aware of how the roster's changed recently for the Twins. But Dunsing and Guerrero are the only players on the active roster today who were on the active roster when the Twins faced the Yankees in the playoffs 3.5 years ago. Now, put an asterisk by it because Mauer's on the disabled list. But that's how quickly the Twins roster is turned over. And Matt Guerrero had to leave and come back. 1-0 is the score. Beltran the batter. with runners at first and second and 2 down, and there's ball 1. The Twins are hoping that Pino hasn't run out of gas here before he's done with his work in the 6th. Big at bat here with the Twins down 1-0. Hook foul, 1-1.
Well, they're giving Pino every opportunity right here to get this final out. All 3 singles have come with 2 outs. And we have 2 outs here. Ellsbury with 2 outs single. Then the walk to Teixeira.
And Suzuki go to the mound. And Suzuki knows his job here. Just kind of nurse the situation along and do what he can to get Pino off the field with a 1-0 deficit. One and 1. Poke to right center field. Fold over. Makes the catch. And that ends the inning. 6 innings. 6 good innings for Yohan Pino with the Twins down 1-0. Let's go places. To find your nearest Toyota dealer and check out our current offers, visit buyatoyota.com. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's, where right now you can score a delicious creamy McCafe iced coffee starting at just $1.59. Twins down 1-0, bottom of the 6th inning coming up. Sanford Health Injury Report. The Giants are hoping that getting Brandon Belt back will help get their season turned back around.
Yeah, Dodgers playing very good baseball as of late. They are 50-39 coming into the plays, and Giants, who had that big lead, now all of a sudden behind the Dodgers by a game and a half.
Here's Suzuki. He'll be followed by Parmalee and Morales facing David Phelps. And shooting one to the right field corner, and Suzuki. It's a foul ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, with Pino getting that last out, he's probably maybe done for the day. 98 pitches. Like to maybe get a couple runs right here. Give him an opportunity to win his first major league game. He was left in there to retire Beltran, and he was able to do that. Now get him a couple runs.
If you just joined us, Terry Steinbach is the acting manager. Ron Gardenhire was tossed in the 2nd inning. Actually in the 3rd inning when Sam Fold was on base. 1 strike to Suzuki. Called strike, and Suzuki looks back at Marty Foster like, you got to be kidding me. Foster looks first over his right shoulder at the Twins dugout, and now he's looking at Suzuki.
I mean, who would know better if that was a striker ball than Kurt Suzuki, who's been catching all day long?
Well, that was closer to the strike zone than the one that rung up Willingham. 0-2 to Suzuki. Snap bat and a roller to first.
You have to swing at that now because you're not sure. So Phelps went back inside, and Suzuki jamming himself and making the out.
One down, and that'll bring up Parmalee.
Suzuki not a happy camper.
No, he's spending as much time looking toward the home plate umpire as he is his dugout. I don't blame him. One down, and now Parmalee is at a fly ball to center. Come back here to the mound. Parmalee 0 for 5 in the game yesterday. Fox Tracks presented by Carrier. Outside, ball 1. And hits the corner, 1-1.
Phelps making his 12th start. Longest outing 7. He's done it twice. Looking here at the 6th.
Phelps thought he'd try a little bit wider off the plate and see if he can get that one called.
Pretty good pitch count. 79 pitches for David Phelps. And making just his 2nd career start against the Twins. He faced the Twins here on July 4th last year.
Bounce to second, easy play. Roberts has it. Teixeira has it, 2 down. And it'll bring up Morales. Fans, the 2014 MLB All-Star voting isn't over yet. You can vote for the final player for each league roster tomorrow through Thursday the 10th. Check twinsbaseball.com Sunday to see who made the teams and vote for who should get the final spot on each league roster. Twins need a jolt here. Morales had a chance with 2 on and 2 out in the 3rd with 2 men in scoring position, and he ended up hitting a fly ball to center. Morales with 1 home run this year, came as a right-handed batter, hitting for a much better average from the left side of the plate. 1-1. 2-1.
Both these starters here today doing a good job of adding and subtracting.
And Pino did that too. Yes, he did a marvelous job here. I think he knows that he's done for the day, hoping that that first major league win won't elude him again this afternoon. Chop to the right side. Teixeira has it. And a low flip to Phelps, but it's another 1-2-3 inning. 3rd in a row for David Phelps.
Both pitchers pitched well. Pino, 6 very good innings, only gave up 3 hits. One of them an RBI single to Cervelli. That's been it. Phelps has matched him even better. 6 shutout innings. He's retired the last 11 Twins he has faced on a total of 84 pitches.
And on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, the Twins are in another low-scoring game. Our Coors Cold Hard Fact, brought to you by Frost Brew Coors Light. Since June 22nd, Twins bullpen's been outstanding. Only 3 teams have had better work out of the bullpen.
That'll be Matt Guerrero coming out of the bullpen, making his 21st relief appearance.
Strike on the outside corner.
Matt last pitched here on Wednesday against the Royals, 1 shutout inning in that 4-0 loss to the Royals for the Twins.
That's a check swing foul, 2 strikes. Normally, I think when you see a team that has as many relievers as the Twins have, 8 of them, you wouldn't consider the bullpen to be a strength of the team that's carrying all those relievers, and yet it's worked for the Twins. They've spent about half this season with 8 relievers rather than 7. Down and away, 2-2.
I think Rick Anderson done a good job of making sure everybody knows what their role is and how they're going to be used and when. And I don't think we have one reliever that has so much more appearances than another.
Loof will have to hurry, and he can't make the play because Ichiro was going down the line, and Loof tried to accelerate everything and ended up dropping the ball.
Yeah, that should be an error right there on Plouffe. Well, right off the end of the bat, Plouffe coming in, getting the nice hop right there, and then losing the ball in the exchange. So Trevor charged with an error. That's his 7th of the year.
Now Alfonso Soriano, a pop up to short and a strikeout.
And that's the first error so far in the first 3 games of this 4-game series by either side.
First foul off the roof of the Yankee dugout. Missed the inside corner, 1-1.
Well, why wouldn't you pitch in here? I mean, that's been called a strike already. Been 1 stolen base against Matt Guerrero this year. Only 1 try. Suzuki earlier, or his last time at first base, stole second base against Pino.
1-1. Missing inside again. And that strike is called, 2-2. Check swing. They'll appeal. 3-2.
Now look for Suzuki to be running here. to the slider, just missed down and away. And Soriano able to hold up.
9 pitches, only 4 strikes from Guerrero. And he was leaning, but Guerrero got him back to the bag.
Yeah, Matt, 10 strikeouts in 21 innings pitched, making his 21st relief appearance.
Suzuki goes, and the pitch grounded foul again off the roof of the Yankee dugout. Twins pitched the Yankees very well in New York. Not so much yet in this series. There goes Suzuki, and the pitch hit to left. And Willingham with the catch. Suzuki retreating, 1 away. And it'll bring up Cervelli. Can you beat the best? Join millions of players now on the only official Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Square off against your friends from around the world live in multiplayer derby mode and climb to the top of the leaderboards. Download today for free on the Apple App Store and Google Play. Now, when they have the real thing here in the Home Run Derby on Monday night.
No, they're not going to ask me to pitch. Is that what you were going to say?
No, I wasn't. Thought about it a few times, but I wasn't going to actually come out and say it. But they will use baseballs that are not rubbed up or rubbed down, whichever you prefer. They're going to use the white baseballs. Some say that even they are loaded up. They're not the real baseballs, juiced, if you will.
Kind of ones they used in 86 and 87.
When you gave up how many home runs?
In those 2 years, a total of 96.
That's a lot of home runs.
That's a lot of home runs. I made a lot of fans.
1 strike to Cervelli. But there will be balls hit during the home run hitting contest here at Target Field that will be hit to parts of the ballpark no one's touched before. The ball lays to left.
Cleaning crew.
Cervelli has another hit. What was lost in the '85 All-Star game, and again they use, what's the nickname for them? Pearls, right? They're white. They're not rubbed down. They're right out of the box. Eddie Murray hit one off the light in right center field. He hit it off the light, and it bounced back. It didn't count. And so that set up eventually Tom Bernanke to win it for the American League. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been the dramatics. Tapper to third.
Get 2, can they?
1. 1 is only. First, the only one they'll get, first and third, with Wheeler hustling down the line. First and third, 2 away.
Yeah, long throw by Plouffe, and then Cervelli did a good job of trying to break up that double play at second base. That hop right there. Trevor Plouffe as a third baseman, make sure a 1. Make a good feed over to Dozier, which he does. And then Cervelli sliding in hard. Dozier had to step out of the way. And Wheeler stayed out of the deep double play.
First and third. 2 down. And I believe this story will be told with the Fox Sports North All-Star original programming with runners here first and third and 2 down. In '85, the Shaggers in the outfield, the St. Cloud Apollo baseball team, and one of the kids for the high school team reached up and over the baggie and took a home run away from Ryan Sandberg.
He's watching Kirby Puckett.
1-0 to Jeter. Now 2-0. Herrera trying to keep this a 1-0 ball game and trying to pitch around Plouffe's error that started the inning. To right field, deep. but playable for Arcia. 2 more left on. The Yankees have left 4 on over the last 2 innings. Twins hoping to get a run in the 7th. .200 with available all-wheel drive America's import.
Yeah, Twins down 1-0. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And let's get some runs right here. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Now, that part about the run scoring, you inserted that. That wasn't part of the legal thing that you have to read.
I just added that.
Okay, all right. It sounded pretty official.
Yeah, thank you.
Like it came from someone in authority.
Yeah, way up there. Well, Phelps has been outstanding. 6 shutout innings. He's given up only a couple hits to the Twins.
He struck out Willingham twice. Once on a pitch that was well in off the plate early in the game, leading off the 2nd. Then got him swinging in the 4th. Outside, ball 1. Willingham, Arcia, and Plouffe trying to first get Pino off the hook. He's pitched better than to deserve a loss. At the knees, 1-1. Then try to take a late inning lead against the Yankees. Belted to left. It's high. It's deep. Gone off the facing of the second deck. Mission accomplished.
Another great crowd here on their feet applauding the home run that ties the game at 1 apiece. For Willingham, his 8th home run of the year. After striking out a couple times. That was a very high home run. Ball came right back in. Willingham opens up with those strong hands and ties the game.
And Arcia swings at an off-speed pitch, 1 strike. And Arcia in today's game not quite showing the patience that he had shown in the last couple games. Swung at a couple of off-speed pitches out of the strike zone. And then that 0-2.
They're completely fooled on that. 10th home run that David Phelps has allowed.
One and 2. No activity in the Yankee pen. These approaching 100 pitches, 90 in the books already.
And as you mentioned, takes Pino off the hook. He pitched great for 6 innings.
Driven to right, but right at Ichiro. The 4th line drive he's caught in right today. As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. You can tweet your photo to #NorthFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Well, we've had kids, a lot of kids in their AT&T fan photo, and now a dog. Are you a dog expert? What breed dog is that?
I have no idea. I had labs.
Okay.
2 black labs.
Here's Plouffe.
Great dogs.
He lined to center and hit a fly ball to center, and he takes a strike on the outside corner.
Now, have you ever had a dog?
I've never had a dog. We used to have cats growing up, but I'm so much more of a dog person than a cat. I don't know yet why we had cats. 1 strike.
Because you don't have to take them for walks.
2 strikes to Plouffe. You don't like giving up a home run, but Phelps, since the home run, has had some really induced some really ugly swings by some Twins hitters. Strike 2 to Arcia and strike 2 to Plouffe.
Again, he's doing a good job of changing speeds, not an overpowering fastball. So he, kind of like Pino, have to really pitch. They have to hit their spots with fastballs and breaking balls. That little cutter right there inside.
It's a front door cutter, right? You hear so much about a backdoor cutter, but that one almost clipped the inside corner.
Trevor's last home run coming in New York back on May 30th. A 6-1 Twins win.
She spent a couple of weeks, a little more than a couple of weeks, on the disabled list in the interim. Right off the end of the bat, foul. Two and 2 to Plouffe. Close, but off the outside corner, full count. Escobar will hit next. Foul to the net.
Ooh, good swing right there by Plouffe. Take a look at this pitch right there. Ooh, just got underneath it. That just almost was home run number 6 on the year.
Just off the outside corner. Plouffe takes a tough walk.
Second walk for Phelps. Went with a fastball after a lot of breaking balls.
And now Escobar hit one of a series of line drives caught by Ichiro and right.
See, in yesterday's ball game with Joe West back there, I think that's a strike.
Yeah.
Today, it just seems like Foster's giving more in than he is away.
Which is odd.
Right.
Swing and a foul, 1 strike.
But again, that's there used to be American League umpires, National League umpires, and I know the eras that I pitched in, you got to know kind of what an umpire would give you, what he would not give you. Even though they say, the Fox track and there is a strike zone, every umpire is different.
Have foul. activity in New York's pen. Sean Kelly warming up. Big home run by Willingham here to tie it up, and now the go-ahead run at first with 1 out. 2 strikes though on the batter, Eduardo Escobar. Side 1-2.
I'm making a call right here. I'm calling a base hit by Escobar.
Okay.
He's hit well from both sides of the plate. Came into the game hitting .275 as a left-handed hitter.
Called third strike. The backdoor cutter, freezing Escobar. 2 down.
Definitely looking for something else.
Join the Minnesota Lynx for the Dads and Daughters ticket offer presented by Fox Sports North Sunday, July 13th versus the Seattle Storm. For just $33, fans receive 2 tickets to the game and a drawstring backpack. For details, visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on the More tab for details. Fuld with a hit and a fly to center. The hit a single, got as far as third base back in the 3rd inning. It was while Fuld was at first base that Ron Gardenhire protested what he thought was a balk and was eventually ejected from the game. His 3rd ejection this year, his 70th in his managerial career. Remember when he got his 1,000th win as a manager, it was 1,000 wins. The T-shirt said 1,000 wins and 67 ejections and counting. And you kind of thought, well, now with replay, what are the chances he's going to get tossed out very often? But number 3. Fuld takes outside, 2-1.
Yeah, what's amazing is Tom Kelly, all those years he managed the Twins, a total of what, 7?
That's what he said, yeah.
Out. He thought 7.
I thought it was about
different personalities.
Yeah. 2-1. Pulled to the right side. Play for Roberts. He makes it. Willingham starts the 7th with a home run, and we are tied going to the 8th. We are tied at 1 thanks to a Josh Willingham home run. On to the 8th inning. Take a Look at the Chrysler Road ahead. One more game here, and then literally the road ahead. Some of us are going to Seattle and Colorado.
Well, some of us have to stay here for Fan Fest. I love that going to Seattle, though, and also was looking forward to going to Colorado.
I'll have some cherries and peaches for you from the market when I'm in Seattle.
Please do. Casey Fiend, who worked an inning last night or yesterday's ball game, one shutout inning, had a couple strikeouts, making his 40th relief appearance. That's the most of any bullpen pitcher for the Twins out of that bullpen. 40 relief appearances.
Roberts made a bid for another extra base hit after collecting 4 of them yesterday, but Chris Parmelee picked it off before it could get down the line. 1-1.
Only 6 walks for Casey in 35 2/3 innings with 28 strikeouts.
There's a strike.
And that's what Casey Fiend is. He's a strike thrower.
That was the backdoor cutter, the same pitch that struck out Escobar. Fiend's got a good one, too. And now a fastball poked foul. He's hoping to put the brakes on a long skid here, winning just 2 of the last 11 games. In the last homestand, the Twins won all 4 against the White Sox.
The Twins haven't beaten the Yankees here since September of 2012. Lost the last 7 games to the Yankees.
And another foul.
Roberts in his first season with the Yankees, 36 years old. All those years with the Orioles. 2-time All-Star when he was with the Orioles.
Orioles had a tough time at the end of his tenure keeping him on the field, a number of different injuries. And liner into center field. Great at bat for Roberts to start the 8th inning. Now his speed is aboard for Ellsbury. Ellsbury a single his last time up. Yankees at the end of this year will see the end of an era with Jeter. Beyond that, of course, the core 4, they called them. Pettit, Posada, Rivera, and Jeter all will be gone. And perhaps it speaks to the farm system, the status of the farm system over the last many years for the Yankees, that there isn't really anybody to replace any of those 4 guys who are gone. The Yankees have a big hole behind the plate. They hired Brian McCann, signed him to a long-term deal. So a free agent there. The pitching staff doesn't have a homegrown product in it right now. Tanaka basically signed as a free agent.
Right. And you wonder if CC Sabathia with that knee problem again, if that might be career ending.
You know, Girardi strongly hinting that Sabathia isn't going to be able to help them out much this year. Yankees have a hole at short. They don't have anybody to replace Jeter. Jury is out, I guess, until proven otherwise by David Robertson as a closer. 1 strike. And now on the outside corner, pinpoint control by Fiend, 2 strikes. So Ellsbury is signed as a big free agent acquisition, in part because the farm system has all but dried up in terms of impact players, which you have to be if you're going to last long in New York. Right. 0-2 to Ellsbury. 1-2. Ellsbury struck out looking in the first. Hit a smash off of Pino's glove. Dozier picked it up, threw him out in the fourth, and then the single with 2 outs in the sixth. 1-2.
Roberts at first base, 7 stolen bases in 11 attempts. Ellsbury's hit into 6 double plays. Fein has had 3 double plays turned behind him while he has been on that mound.
Foul tip, and Suzuki couldn't keep it in the glove. Now in a tie game, Yankees threatening here with a leadoff single. They left 2 men on in the 6th when they didn't score, 2 men on in the 7th when they did not score. And foul to the screen. Beautiful summer afternoon. The Twins are trying to give another big crowd something to cheer about. Been a pretty disappointing, and for that matter, quiet homestand. Twins have drawn good crowds throughout. Hasn't been a whole lot for the crowd to get jazzed up about. Another 1-2 to Ellsbury. 2-2. Roberts battled Fein, got a leadoff single, and now Ellsbury battling. It's one advantage the Yankees have always had on the Twins, whether it's in the regular season or the playoffs. Veteran hitters with often thousands of more at bats than the Twins counterpart.
And so many former All-Stars. They're just not hitters that have a lot of at bats. I mean, Ellsbury, an All-Star back in 2011. Talked about Roberts, a 2-time All-Star. And your captain himself, Derek Jeter, 13-time All-Star.
Another 2-2. And a strikeout. Fein went upstairs. 1 away.
Quite a battle right here between Fein and Ellsbury. Finally got that fastball up, and Ellsbury swinging through it for the first out.
And now Teixeira. Sometimes that experience can be a difference maker in the most subtle of ways. Just having one good at bat after another all the way through the lineup, and then before you know it, your starter is toast after 5 innings. You have to go to the bullpen earlier usually than the Yankees go to theirs. 1 strike. Another throw to first.
All those at bats brings all those at bat experiences that they're not afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
Right.
We've always seen the Yankees, they seem to foul off a lot of pitches to make that pitcher, especially the starter's pitch count, climb quickly.
In the playoffs a few years ago, Ruben Sierra hit the big 3-run home run against Juan Rincon. Well, the Twins' counterpart that year was Michael Ryan, who had, what, a couple hundred big league at bats. 1 strike to Teixeira. Ground ball hit at somebody. It's Dozier to Escobar. Inning over. Fein gets the job done. And we head to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 1. oasis of interconnected waterways and forest land, creating a paradise for boating, swimming, fishing, hiking, and more. Visit exploreminnesota.com. Discover a world that's only in Minnesota. Post your experiences to hashtag #OnlyInMN. Vacation opportunities range from resorts with lakeside cabins to houseboats or camping on secluded islands. It all sounds wonderful. Voyageurs National Park, way up in the northern part of the state, a little bit north of Crane Lake, north and east of Ash Lake, and north of Cusson, Minnesota.
What a great town. I should live there. Sean Kelly coming out of the bullpen for the Yankees after David Phelps pitched 7 very good innings. He only damaged the Willingham home run last inning. The numbers on Kelly: 23 and a third innings, 22 hits allowed, 11 walks, 3 intentional with 27 strikeouts.
Dozier takes outside, ball 1. Dozier, Suzuki, Parmalee. Glenn Perkins already getting loose in the 9th. For the 9th inning, Twins hope to hand him a lead. And these, as we were discussing a few innings ago, games like this, and the Twins have played in so many more than they have in the last 3 years. A high pop-up behind third. Soriano coming in. And that ball drops in foul territory. Jeter went out. Soriano seemed to be tracking it tentatively from the very beginning.
Well, so close to the crowd right there. Don't know. It looked like Jeter backed away at the last second, maybe hearing Soriano. High pop-up right there to shortstop. Derek Jeter has to go back. He's waiting to hear something in the last second. You can see he kind of gave way to Soriano. Soriano reached for it, but the ball was foul.
Dozier's at bat will continue with a 1-1 count. Sun might have been an issue for Soriano. Strike on the outside corner. Anyway, the Twins have played so many more games this year, low scoring 2-1, 3-2 ball games, but they've lost so many of those, and that's why it's important for the Twins to get a run here in the 8th or 9th and pick up a win in a low scoring game. Chipped foul, backing out of play.
Kelly with a fastball, no low 90s, slider, changeup, occasional curveball. In his second season with the Yankees, 30-year-old. First came up with the Mariners in 2009.
To left center field, and Soriano coming in. And he can't make the play. Dozier with a big turn, and now he'll hustle back to first base. He had 1 or 2 opportunities to take the extra base. Soriano couldn't find it, and I don't think Dozier could find it either.
Again, maybe the sun played effect in this. Soriano came in, dove for it, and the ball looked like it clanked off his glove. Right off the end of the bat. Softly hit. Soriano tracking it. You can see the sun in his sunglasses hits the heel of his glove. And Dozier hustling around, and we can't anticipate Soriano unable to pick up that ball a couple times. So it's a base hit for Dozier.
Soriano was lying on the ground, and the ball was lying behind him. I don't know that Dozier could see where the ball was.
Right.
Dozier gets a hit. Now Suzuki will try to advance him. Dozier may try to steal a base here. Twins had a runner thrown out by Cervelli yesterday.
15 stolen bases for Dozier in 20 attempts.
In fact, it was Dozier who was thrown out by Cervelli. Foul back, 1 strike. Suzuki with a hit and a walk, comebacker to the mound. Dozier yesterday hit his 16th home run, tried for his 16th stolen base, but was thrown out. Yankees got their run on a stolen base when replay showed Ichiro Suzuki was actually thrown out. Foul back. If you're wondering, well, why didn't the Twins challenge that? He looked safe.
Right.
And Dozier reached for the ball, and he had no idea where Suzuki's feet were. So it would have been implausible for Dozier to signal the dugout, hey, I think I got him.
Right.
Because he had no idea where Suzuki's feet were. 2 strikes to Kurt Suzuki. Very high, 1-2. It's when the Yankees got their run in the 5th. And Dozier's doing all he can to keep the ball from going into center field. Let's see if he's taking off here on a 1-2 pitch. Nope. And the ball lined to center sharply. Dozier will hold up at second base. Ball hit too hard for Dozier to even think about going to third. And the 8th inning starts with a pair of singles.
How about Kurt Suzuki continuing to swing a hot bat, especially here at Target Field. Got a fastball and lined it right back up the middle. Twins bottom into the 8th inning, starting off very nicely. Kind of a gift base hit for Dozier, but this was a line drive base hit up the middle.
And now Parmalee. Don Kelly was saying when he was visiting with us in the 4th inning, Parmalee's probably given the Twins their best at bats recently, and then you look up and he's now hitless in his last 11 at bats.
He does not have a sacrifice on the year. And Wheeler, the third baseman for the Yankees, in on the grass.
Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. Parmalee and Arcia have been, especially with men on base, been given a lot of those breaking pitches in the dirt on the first pitch.
Somehow Chris Parmalee would like to advance the runners for Morales.
Another nice block by Cervelli. He had a handful of those in yesterday's game. And Cervelli put into the starting lineup when Brian McCann couldn't go because of his injured foot. One and one to the Twins' first baseman. 1-2. Would you classify that as a good take? That looked like a sinker down and away that he wouldn't have been able to do much with.
Yeah, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. That's one he may beat into the ground. Maybe a double play type pitch.
See what he gets on 1-2.
Cervelli calling time. Wants to go through a new set of signs for Sean Kelly.
A piece of it came back inside for a foul ball. A limited number of season ticket locations are now available in the Delta Sky 360 Legends Club. Enjoy the second half of the season in padded seats and enjoy the amenities that only the Legends Club can offer. The Delta Sky 360 Legends Club, the perfect combination of baseball and comfort. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com or 833-TWINS. 1-2 to Chris Parmalee. The Twins tied it up in the 7th, trying to take their first lead of the day in the 8th. Center field, short center, Ellsbury coming in, a nice tumbling catch. Ellsbury with a long run and an awkward catch, but he made it. And the Twins are hoping to catch a break in the 8th inning they didn't get yesterday. In the 8th.
Great catch right there by Ellsbury as he utilized his speed to catch up to this and caught it right off the turf. Did a little spin around. Good concentration by Ellsbury. Gets up and threw the ball back into second base. Nice defensive play.
Yesterday, Roberts and Teixeira each made a nice play in the 8th to prevent runs from scoring. And now Morales with a big swing and a miss. And another breaking pitch in the dirt. Strike 2. Morales came up with 2 on and 2 out in the 3rd. Had a fly ball to center. Struck him out on 3 pitches, 2 down. That'll leave it to Willingham. Soup.com trivia. Who are the 4 players with 3,000 career hits whose primary position was shortstop? Can you put Ernie Banks on that list and Ripken? Oh, Robin Yount, Honus Wagner, and Ripken. I don't think Ernie Banks got 3,000 hits. Big at bat now for Willingham. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Kelly trying to pitch around opening singles by Dozier and Suzuki. Leadoff homer in the 7th that tied the game.
Home run would be nice. Base hit would even be better.
Huh?
I want a base hit right here. I don't want Josh thinking he has to hit a home run. Just hit the ball up the middle, get a base hit. Score for Dozier at second.
And you're getting nods from everybody here in the booth. You just said a single would be better than a home run.
In this situation right here, I don't want, Willingham. He's always thinking he wants to hit the ball on the 3rd deck. I want a base hit right here. Does that make sense?
No,
it doesn't
make any
sense. A 3-run home run would be nice.
Okay.
But I'll take a base hit.
Dozier and Suzuki on the bases with 2 out.
A little flare to right.
That kicks away from Cervelli. He can't find it. Dozier rounding 3rd, and he'll hold up there. That was such a wild pitch, and it had so much hang time. Dozier thought about maybe trying to advance 2 bases.
Yeah, just not a lot of room here at Target Field behind home plate for Dozier to try this, but Cervelli knocking it down and ended up hitting off of him, going straight up and then behind him.
Hey, earlier this year I saw the Brewers score 3 runs on 1 wild pitch. Anything can happen. 2-1 to Willingham. Two and 2. Willingham thought that was ball 3.
How do they go back inside?
Two and 2 to Willingham. Struck him out. Cervelli has to throw to first, and that takes care of the threat in the bottom of the 8th. The Twins lead 2.
I'm Jamie Hirsch with an invitation to stick around after the final out of this game for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. Anthony LaPanta and Roy Smalley will break down Yohan Pino's quality start for the Twins today, a start they very much needed. We'll also take a look at Josh Willingham striking again with his 8th home run of the season. That tied the game at 1. And then we have a special feature on Yankees legend Babe Ruth, who paid a visit to Sleepy Eye, Minnesota 9 decades ago and made quite the lasting impression. So you'll want to stick around for that on Twins Live after this, guys.
Thank you, Jamie. We head to the 9th inning. Carlos Beltran will lead things off against Glenn Perkins.
Yeah, Perk making his 36th relief appearance, 1 shutout inning in yesterday's ball game. Threw only 10 pitches, 7 for strikes.
Chopped to third. Plouffe guarding the line. Throws to Parmelee, 1 away. Link to what's next. Final game of the year between the Twins and the Yankees. If the Twins can win this game, the season series will be decided tomorrow between Hiroki Kuroda and Ricky Nolasco.
And Nolasco pitched well in New York, got the win and a 6-1 win, and coming off a good start, his last start. A win.
I have an issue here, and I'm not sure what it is. Something on the outfield wall, perhaps. Glenn Perkins looking over his shoulder. Perkins padding is loose, I guess, out there in front of the Yankee bullpen. That'll be Velcroed on. It won't take long to do that. Finally, Sam Fuld realizes he's a maintenance man as well. That's the utility outfielder.
Getting more kids in the game.
And getting your money's worth out of your center fielder. Suzuki, the batter, he's been on base all 3 times, once with a hit, once with a fielder's choice, and once with an error charged to Plouffe. Up and in, ball 1. Very high, 2-0. Suzuki's speed led to the Yankee run. He reached on a fielder's choice after Beltran took a leadoff walk. Then he stole second. We showed you the play. It looked like Brian Dozier actually had him out. And then a wild pitch sent him to third. And then with 2 outs, Cervelli got another hit, driving in a run. The only Yankee run so far. 2-1. On the left field line, and Willingham giving it a look. It's back in the seats.
Let's go back to the 5th inning, how the Yankees did score against Pino. There's the walk to Beltran. Suzuki, the full fielder's choice. Safe at first, then he stole second. And that play that if they reviewed it, which nobody knew at that time. Then Wild pitched over to third, and then Cervelli getting the 2-out hit.
2-2 to Suzuki. Ichiro Suzuki. Soriano on deck. Breaking ball in the dirt. If not a base stealing threat, he can still run. Can go first to third on a single, score on a double, so you don't want to put him on base. Perkins will try to throw him a strike here. Got him looking. And Ichiro was out of the batter's box on his way to first. 2 down.
Ichiro kind of looking at home plate umpire Marty Foster as he walks away. And the glove right there, which Perk hit of Suzuki, strikes out Suzuki.
2 down, and now Soriano. Over the inside corner with a breaking ball. Twins are due to send up Arcia, Plouffe, and Escobar in the bottom of the ninth. High fastball. Soriano can't catch up with the cheese. Just got a piece. Got him. Blew him away with a mid-90s fastball, and Perkins enjoys a 1-2-3 top of the ninth. Like personality who left a lasting impression with his visit to a small southern town in Minnesota over 9 decades ago. Hear that story coming up on our post-game show following today's game.
When they did a lot of barnstorming back then during the wintertime.
And now Oswaldo Arcia will lead off the ninth for the Twins. Brett Gardner in the game and left.
Takes over for Soriano.
Very often a manager will make a defensive change in a tie game, but that's what apparently Joe Girardi's done here. Arcia, Plouffe, and Escobar. There, an off-speed pitch again. This one thrown for a strike. 1 strike.
Yeah, Kelly, 22 pitches in that first inning. In his second inning of relief.
And 2 strikes. Really rebounded well after a tough start to the inning. A gift single for Dozier. Suzuki with a line drive hit. Then he got Parmalee, Morales, and Willingham. 0-2 to Oswaldo Arcia. 0-3. 1 down. That'll bring up Plouffe.
3 straight strikeouts for Kelly. That's what we've seen from that Yankee bullpen. They have guys out there that can pick up some strikeouts.
Huff with 3 wonderful innings here the other night. Haven't seen Matt Thornton yet. Matanzas did well in his 2 innings. 2 and a fraction innings. Here's Plouffe. Strike over the inside corner. Plouffe looking for his first hit, an outfield fly, an outfield line out, and then a walk in the 7th. 1-1. The Twins have had 4 walk-off wins this year. The batters to provide them. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Chris Parmalee, Aaron Hicks, Danny Santana, and Brian Dozier.
Yankees bullpen coming into this ballgame, they've worked 267 innings. They have 312 strikeouts out of that bullpen, the most in the American League.
Pounded foul past Joe Vavra. Never trying to add his name to the walk-off list. Even a base hit or a double would go a long way towards getting the Twins a win here today. Twins have a bench of Nunez, Colabello, and Fryer. One and two to Plouffe. Foul ball off of Cervelli, staggering him again. He took one right off the mask in the middle innings.
Might have cracked his glasses.
Another 1-2 to Trevor Plouffe. And another foul. High fly to center. And Ellsbury under it. Out number 2. We'll bring up Eduardo Escobar. Remember, Twins in Tom Kelly's tenure had a really long game, 16, 17 innings, something like that. I think the Twins won the game. Talking with Tom the next day, he said he thought the at-bats were embarrassing for his team because everyone, he had a young club back then. This is back in the mid-90s when the team wasn't very good. A lot of young hitters tried to hit the walk-off home run at home and be the big hero instead of, you know, hitting the ball hard someplace to lead off an inning. 1-0 to Escobar. And I'm not saying that's what happened to Arcia or Plouffe for that matter, but the temptation for a lot of guys to go up there and try to end the game with one swing rather than get on base, force the issue a little bit in the field. Swing and a miss.
Well, Kelly has that nasty breaking ball right there. That's what he threw Arcia. And then Plouffe, I thought, had a pretty good battle. Just got the fastball and hit it to center field.
1-2 to Escobar.
Made good contact, just popped it up.
Line foul. Five in a row set down by Kelly. And he gets him down and in. And for the 8th time this year, the Twins head to extra innings. your wild side. Twins are 3-4 in extra inning games. Yankees got their run in the 5th.
Well, the walk right there to Beltran. Suzuki, the force out, put him at first base, which he stole second base. And we showed it back. He was definitely out right there, but no review. And then a wild pitched over to third. 2 outs. And Cervelli getting a base hit to left field, scored the first run for the Yankees in the first run of the game. Twins came back with a solo home run by Willingham to tie it at 1 apiece. That in the 7th inning.
Glenn Perkins pitched an inning yesterday and an inning again today, so it'll be Jared Burton who will be asked to pitch the 10th.
Yeah, Jarrett making his first appearance against the Yankees in this 4-game series. He last worked on Tuesday a shutout inning against the Kansas City Royals in the 10-2 Twins win, making his 37th appearance overall.
He'll face Cervelli, Wheeler, and Jeter here in the Yankee 10th. Cervelli wasn't supposed to play today. Brian McCann had a bum foot. Cervelli caught yesterday at the starting assignment, and he's gotten 2 more hits, including the RBI single. Strike on the outside corner.
Burton with a fastball, slider, and a very good changeup.
All the finals are games in progress. Very close baseball games today. Boston beat Baltimore 3-2. Seattle White Sox tied at 2 going to the 10th. And 1 apiece here. Driven to the right field corner and foul. One and 2 to the Yankee catcher. Yankees are left with a bench of Ryan, Johnson, and McCann, who we don't believe is going to be able to play because of the foot. Checked his swing. 2-2.
There's a changeup right there, just a bit low.
Right center. Fold is there. And down. Good positioning by the Twins with Fold shading Cervelli that way. 1 away, and that'll bring up Wheeler.
This is Kelly Johnson
hitting in the Wheeler spot.
Johnson played third base in yesterday's ball game, 0 for 4.
.169 at bats, 16 extra base hits, 5 home runs.
Johnson 0 for 7 as a pinch hitter. So we got that going for us.
Breaking ball, strike 1. Chopper up the line, but foul. 2 quick strikes from Burton to Johnson. We showed you a variety of graphics and charts and stats about the Twins bullpen, but it's been very good. Last 18 games in the bullpen has a 1.78. Pino giving the Twins 6 good innings. And then Guerrero and Fiend, Perkins, now Burton. Been very good. 2 strikes to Johnson. Got him 2 down.
And Burton picks up a strikeout. His 26th in 34 2/3 innings pitched.
Well, this will be interesting with Jeter coming to the plate now and 2 down. We anticipate he'll be in the lineup tomorrow for the series finale, but
the change up there had a little movement down and away.
Jeter hitless in the series, 0 for 4 today. Right field line foul. Jeter actually hitting right-handers a little bit better than lefties, but his 2 home runs have come off of left-handed pitchers. Up and away, 1-1. Two and 1. To get this guy mainly because the guy in the on-deck circle has been the toughest out for the Twins in this series. Brian Roberts, he's had some great at-bats. He's probably hit the ball harder than anybody else the Yankees have right now. 2-1. Reaching back for 93 miles per hour and a swing and a miss.
And threw that ball by Jeter.
To right field and past Dozier into right field for a base hit. A 2-out single for Jeter. His first hit of the series. And that will bring up Brian Roberts. Roberts just 1 for 4 today, but 4 extra base hits yesterday. And he's hit the ball on the button the last 2 times up, lining out to Parmalee and then singling, leading off the 8th inning. Outside a ball.
Still got to keep an eye on Jeter too. You know, clubs have run against Jared Burton. Jeter 5 stolen bases in 6 attempts, but if you do not pay any attention, he'll take that walking lead.
Swing and a miss. 1-1. And what we've seen so many other pitchers do in base stealing situations, the Twins want to see from Burton here. Mix it up a little bit. That was just enough of a pause into the stretch, and then he delivered. A little bit longer hold, and another swing and a miss, and a nice dig by Suzuki.
A good change up there by Burton.
Roberts has never faced Burton before. Seems a bit odd. Jeter takes off, and it's outside.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Clubs are 7 for 7 now against Jared Burton, stealing a base. And he gets into scoring position. So Jeter steals his 6th base of the year in 7 attempts.
2-2 to Roberts. Pounded foul. Another 2-2 to Brian Roberts. Side move. Old foul again. Over by the camera well. Be Burton's 20th pitch of the inning. Foul back. Another fastball.
And Suzuki's going to go out and talk to Burton. Long battle right here between Burton and Roberts.
I think Roberts swung over a couple of changeups, right, early in the at bat, and then the next two were hooked foul.
Yeah, that last pitch, a dangerous pitch up right there, because Roberts always been a good hitter. He'll slap that ball the other way. Career .280 hitter.
Tapper right side, and Burton let it go to Dozier, and he makes the play to send us tied to the bottom of the 10th.
May 15th, it was Hicks. One-run single with 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th. May 27th, Santana reaching on the air by Soria. There's Hicks celebrating. Soria unable to handle that ball. And the Twins won that ball game as Nunez scored. And a couple of weeks ago, Dozier with a one-run single in the bottom of the 9th inning. Beat the White Sox 5-4. As Escobar scores the winning run.
And they'll try to walk off the Yankees, facing a pitcher who yielded the most infamous walk-off hit in Target Field history. Matt Thornton was then a reliever for the Chicago White Sox. And in extra innings, the White Sox led the Twins by a run. And Jim Thome hit one out into the Plaza area that turned both teams' seasons around. Kenny Johnson in at third. Sam Fuld, the first batter, and he takes strike one. Fuld, Dozier, and Suzuki. Up the middle, off of Thornton. And it'll be a hit into short center field. Fuld thinks about it, but pulls up with a single. It hit the pitcher, it hit the second baseman, and rolled to a stop in short center field.
Well, the speedy Fuld now at first base gets his second hit. Right back up the middle. Thornton's delivery. He bent over to get it. Kind of got a piece of it. Then he hit off his calf area. Twins pick up their 6th hits. Hits a tie at 6 apiece.
See if Dozier's asked to bunt here. Not often you have your top home run hitter bunting, but Fuld checked it first to see if Dozier committed to the bunt.
And he did. He kind of brought the bat down, you know, like he was going to bunt. But was that a deke?
One sacrifice bunt.
Johnson in on the grass at third base. Teixeira, of course, the first baseman, holding on the runner.
Strike called. And Dozier doesn't react well to that strike call. The 11 sacrifice bunts by the Twins. Dozier has one. The leader's Escobar with 2. That was the strike or the swing that Dozier may have been given before asked now to drop down a bunt. We'll see. Thornton again throws over, and it looked like Dozier moved the bat hand up on the bat barrel again.
Yeah, Thornton in his first season with the Yankees, of course, all those years with the White Sox, last year between the White Sox and the Boston Red Sox. Signed a 2-year contract over the winter with the Yankees.
Got a pitch up and fouled it back. He's got a pair of leadoff hits in the 8th inning. Didn't score. Now a leadoff single in the 10th.
Johnson, the third baseman, now can move back.
Oh, 0-2 to Dozier. To left field. Gardner back on the edge of the track for the first out. And that'll bring up Kurt Suzuki. That was Dozier's first at bat against Matt Thornton. Kurt Suzuki's had 3 of them. He has 2 extra base hits, a double and a home run. Saw Cervelli show off a pretty good arm last night. Holt's been perfect in stolen bases since he wasn't sacrificed there. We'll see if he takes off here.
Yeah, Thornton a tough guy because he'll utilize that little slide step he has. Rolls over. Thornton's been tough out of that bullpen as of late. He's not allowed a run over his last 16 appearances since May 20th. Covering only 10 innings.
Down and away, 1-0. Suzuki's reached 3 times, average up to 309.
Thornton with a mid-fast fastball, 94, 95, slider and a changeup.
Long hold. Suzuki swings and fouls, 1-1. Depending what other hitters have done, of course, but right now Suzuki would figure to be 8th in the American League in batting at 309. 1-1. Oh, throw. Teixeira has to go down low to make the catch. They've got him picked off. And out at second base.
Might want to see a review here because Sam Fuld was kind of sitting on the bag. Thought that maybe he got his foot on the bag before Roberts could apply the tag.
Oh, got him.
Got him. Got him on the ankle. And that's where you want to put your glove, right there by the bag. A lot of times you'll see that middle infielder kind of, touch for the runner. Paul Molitor right there on the phone.
Harry Steinbach on the field talking to Alan Porter. I think we'll get the thumbs down.
Ask them where they're going out to dinner tonight. Thumb down. Come on back.
So Full is out, 2 away. And the count 1-1.
Well, you almost have to guess against Thornton, and he guessed wrong.
Well, that's sometimes you'll hear base stealers say they went on first movement with a left-hander, and that's basically what you're saying. You're just going to guess, and as soon as he breaks, you're going to take off. It was a close play, but out number 2, and the count to Suzuki 1-1. Two and 1.
And what's going to happen here is Kurt Suzuki is going to get a base hit. It always happens.
Fouled away. 2-2. Thornton ready to deliver his 10th pitch of the inning. Fouled to the backstop.
Now Thornton, 37 years old. It's the Seattle Mariners' #1 pick back in 1998.
Couple of shakeoffs, and now the 2-2 to Suzuki. Strike him out. 97 miles per hour. Leadoff hit, but just 3 men back in the 10th, and we'll have an 11th inning. Of them so far, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. And the Twins bring out Brian Dunsing to pitch to the Yankees in the 11th inning.
Yeah, Dunsing making his 33rd relief appearance. He worked 2/3 of an inning here on Thursday night. For Dunsing, 32 1/3 innings, 30 hits allowed. 13 walks, 1 intentional with 18 strikeouts. So far, so good by the bullpen. Another 3 shutout innings.
Dunsing will face Ellsbury, Teixeira, and Beltran. Lefty and a couple of switch hitters. Twins relief ranks getting a little thin now. Of course, Deduno pitched so much yesterday. He's not available. Breaking ball down and away, ball one. Caleb Thielbar from the left side, Anthony Swarzak from the right side, the only ones left behind Dunsing. 1-0.
And because of the job of Deduno yesterday, where he pitched almost 5 innings, 4 2/3 innings, kind of helps out set up the bullpen here today. Even though Fien and Perkins pitched yesterday, they didn't need a lot of pitches, so they're out of here. They're out here today.
3-0. Dunsing didn't pitch yesterday. Thielbar did, but didn't throw many pitches, just a third of an inning. In fact, I think he threw just one pitch, didn't he?
Well, one pitch, yep.
3-0. And a strike. Swinging strike 2. He's got a leadoff single in the bottom of the 10th. The Yankees got a 2-out single, but the Yankees stole second base. They're able to get a runner into scoring position.
They're going to make Ellsbury swing the bat here.
That's to left center and Full over a few steps. Makes the catch, one away.
A good comeback right there by Dunsing. Fell behind 3-1. And you want to make that speedy Ellsbury swing the bat, make him earn his way on.
And now Teixeira.
Teixeira's a right-handed hitter, hitting .215. 2 home runs from this side of the plate.
Low ball 1. Teixeira's hit 3 ground balls. One of them was turned into a double play. 2-0. Dunsing falls behind Teixeira quickly. Down the middle, a strike. Grounder to short, and it's Escobar setting and firing. 2 down.
Good pitch right there, down and away. Teixeira beat it into the ground.
That'll bring up Carlos Beltran. Now we all know the Yankees don't have the fierce lineup that they had in their prime. But this is the 55th inning where the Twins have pitched to the Yankees. Bounce toward the hole. Nice stop. The ball rolls out of Escobar's glove. It's another 2-out hit for the Yankees. Beltran will reach and bring up Suzuki. This is the 55th inning the Twins have pitched to the Yankees, and the Yankees have only scored 21 runs.
Escobar showing some range right there, but when he made contact with that ground, the ball just trickled away. Beltran picking up a base hit, his first hit of the ball game.
1 steal on the year for Beltran. He wouldn't seem a candidate to steal. Suzuki at the plate. Strike on the outside corner. Suzuki hitting .355 against lefties. Called out on strikes his last time up. One and one. hits the mound, rolled to Dozier, got him at first. Good inning for Dunsink. Fell behind a couple of hitters, but faced just 4 men.
Are you complaining?
Not me.
Nope.
Twins need to figure out a way to score a run here in one of these innings. The only run they've scored here today came on a Willingham home run. And it'll be Parmelee, Morales, and Willingham hitting here in the 11th inning. Beg your pardon. Chris Colabello is going to hit for Chris Parmelee.
Colabello in yesterday's ball game, hitting his first home run since being recalled. That coming in the 2nd inning off of Chase Whitley.
Colabello facing Matt Thornton. Down. Sorry, strike 1.
That home run is 5th home run of the year. His first hit here, Target Field for Colabello.
1-1.
Thornton has not allowed a home run yet this year.
Parmelee had really been struggling. Hitless in his last 12 at bats. Deep to right field. Toward the corner again. Just off the very top of the wall, and Colabello hit that ball about 1 foot shorter than his home run yesterday.
Almost in the exact same spot, a fastball. And Chris lining it high off the wall. Fastball that came down and in, and Chris just dropping the barrel of the bat, and the ball almost going out. Right at the camera.
Are you kidding me? Inches away from a walk-off home run. And his home run yesterday, honestly, was just 2 feet farther down the right field line. Almost hit the cameraman by the foul pole yesterday. Kendrys Morales has a chance to get his biggest hit as a Twin. Colabello at second, nobody out. Down low, ball 1. Morales just 5 hits and 30 at bats as a right-handed batter. 4 singles and a homer. Swing and a miss. saw late in the game yesterday, Morales is a left-handed batter. Hit the ball to the opposite field on the ground.
Morales 4 for 8 against Thornton.
1-2.
They pulled the string right there.
Morales has gone on 3 pitches in the 8th. Down on strikes.
Change up, down and away.
1-2 to Morales. Chopper and Colabello will be able to advance. And Morales nearly beat it out. But in advancing, Colabello changes everything now for the Yankees. They'll have to bring the infield in and the outfield in for Willingham.
Well, it worked out perfect. Even though Morales is out, he did advance Colabello over to third. Kind of a swinging bunt. Kelly came in, had only one play, and that left the back door open for Colabello to come over and scoot over to third.
Infield in, outfield in. Willingham has hit the ball once in 4 at-bats. He hit it off the facing of the second deck.
And they're going to walk him to get to Arcia.
Intentional walk of Willingham will also set up a double play. Now, Ron Gardenhire has one, Terry Steinbach has one option here. He could pinch hit the right-hander Nunez for Arcia. But the Yankees have a right-hander warming up in the bullpen. So we'll see whether Arcia gets a chance. He's heading to the plate. And it'll be Arcia against the veteran Thornton with the game on the line.
Arcia 1 for 3 against Thornton. A single in his last appearance against Matt Thornton. Thornton looking if the ball's hit back to me. Hard. I will go to second. Turn a double play.
And Arcia's had some problems making contact, of course, too. He's 0 for 3. He's put the ball in play twice. Infield still in.
Oh, got it.
And Arcia is hit for the 3rd time in this series. Second time today. And now they're loaded up.
Arcia wondering if he has a bullseye on his jersey. Definitely going inside, but Thornton not trying to go that far inside.
And I'll tell you this, Arcia, known as a very emotional player, and he's done a good job here just going to first and wearing it.
Nothing behind that.
No, I know that, but you know how he is. He's pretty animated out there, and he's just kind of worn it and taking his base.
Well, Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, out to talk to his big lefty.
No margin for error. And Thornton now will pitch to Plouffe. Or will the Yankees? Well, they've already had a trip to the mound. You're not supposed to send somebody out here during the next at bat. So the infield in again. And the outfield's in again, too. Plouffe. 3 outfield flies. He'll gladly hit another one here. All back, 1 strike. outside, 1-1.
We'll see if we can add Plouffe's name to the walk-off victories.
1-1 to Plouffe. Tappert back to Thornton. Out there, and a throw to first is down the line. Willingham scores the winning run. Now the Yankees are going to appeal, at least Teixeira was, that Plouffe was in the baseline, but the throw sailed over everybody. And for the second time, the Twins have walked off the opponent.
With a ball hit back to the pitcher.
Back to the mound.
Well, add Trevor Plouffe to that name. Now 5 walk-offs for the Twins as they beat the Yankees finally here at Target Field.
And Cervelli, who may have helped win the game for the Yankees yesterday, thought about throwing, thought about not throwing, and then he threw wildly.
Well, you can see that not even close.
So the Twins end up beating the Yankees in extra innings in 11 innings, 2-1. And the Twins have evened the season.